This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
He's working away the spinner for New Zealand. Kawaja dances down the pitch and he's stumped. Phillips gets his man.
Yep.
Good work, Blundell.
Well done. He brought it a long way back.
Phillips has flied ahead, who takes on the drive, slices down and long off. He's going to be caught. Phillips has a couple. Marsh faces his first ball from Phillips, who tickles him straight to short leg, and it's a golden duck. Goodness me, Phillips is on a streak.
And a hat-trick.
Phillips bowls here, Carey. Straight to the man at cover. Phillips has done it again. Phillips has 4. Phillips bowls into green, to short leg, and it's taken. Super work under the lead wheel young. Glenn Phillips has a fifer. He wheels away to Matt Henry. That is some celebration.
Over the wicket from the Vance stand in.
Oh.
And bowl, top of middle stump. Matt Henry cleans up the tail. Australia bowled out for 164. New Zealand required 369 for a rather unlikely test victory at the Basin Reserve.
We needed this from New Zealand, just some heart, and they've shown a lot of it today.
It's an absolute dream come true. It's a pretty surreal sort of moment for me at the moment. The bowling unit for us today, we definitely stuck to the things that we wanted to stick to. I guess string partnerships together was really good.
A maiden 5-wicket test haul for all-round spinner Glenn Phillips sparked an Australian batting collapse and gave New Zealand hope of a historic chase. Phillips will join us before his next key role with the bat. Latham's back and cutting, and he's out. Oh dear. Lyon strikes with his second ball. And the speed with which Australia turned to its spinner pays instant dividends as Latham is dismissed for 8. Round the wicket, Williamson plays straight to leg slip. Fantastic cricket, Australia. Steve Smith round the corner. Oh, young edges, he's caught. Head, the golden arm, strikes with his third ball. Catch taken by Smith, sharp to his left at slip. A masterstroke from Pat Cummins. 3 for 59.
Width outside of off stump, goes back, cuts very, very well.
Cummins bowls, Ravindra pulls, finds the gap at deep backward square 4. Fugged into the rope in front of the hill. That's a really nice shot.
Slashing cut stroke, 4 to point on the up to the fence for 4. A slog, sweet, towering blow. Hello, Adelaide Road. A cricket ball's coming to find you. Over the gate, down the road, jumping on the number 2 bus to Miramar, pulled away to the backward square leg boundary for 4, 50 to Rachin Ravindra in front of his home fans of 77 balls.
I feel in control of it, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. I thought Rachin played exceptionally well that last session there, and so did Daryl. As a bowling unit, if we come back tomorrow, have some really clear plans and challenge their defence for long periods of time, we'll hopefully create more than 7 chances.
Australia turned to its spinners early in New Zealand's run chase, reaping rewards with 3 vital wickets. Nathan Lyon looms large in Australia's quest for victory, but the hometown hero Rachin Ravindra, supported by the classy Daryl Mitchell, stand in Australia's way. This is day 4 of the first test, live from the Basin Reserve in Wellington on SEN and SENZ Test Cricket.
Live across the ditch and right around the world. New Zealand versus Australia on SEN and SENZ Test Cricket.
It's a day to test how far the imagination stretches. Australia's scenario is straightforward enough. 7 wickets to retain the Trans-Tasman Trophy. New Zealand's side of the equation requires the leap of faith. A further 258 runs for a record chase of 369. You've got to lean into the hope. You've got to lean into the hope, Ted Lasso style, Andy Dufresne style. Welcome to day 4 at Basin Reserve. I wonder, it's Gerard Whateley from Australia, Ian Smith from New Zealand. If we asked on 8833, Smithy, who are the believers, would we find many?
Not many. I don't think so. There would be the absolute optimist who just backs New Zealand from day one in anything that they do. There'll be several people hungover who probably didn't even understand your question. But in all honesty, the odds are seriously still stacked against New Zealand, despite a really good fighting performance in the last session last night. So it is a very... if they win this, it will be one of New Zealand Test cricket team's greatest ever victories, perhaps the best, in terms of a run chase, in terms of who they're up against, and in terms of the conditions. It's not out of the realms of possibility, but it's close.
Russian Ravindra.
Oh, what a star. What an absolute star. And, you know, he got 240 against South Africa, and we thought that's just wonderful, put him in at number 4. But we always knew that in the back of our minds that their South African attack wasn't a true gauge of how good Russian Ravindra could or might be or is. But we saw glimpses yesterday afternoon. He's an uncanny sort of a player. He's got this brashness of youth at the moment, so he'll take bowlers on that other players will be reserved against. He plays expansively outside the off stump, we know that. But he's got just a freshness that has not been dented yet. I think it's fair to say he hasn't played enough cricket to know the pain that it can give you. So, but I will say that New Zealand, if they don't win this Test match, they'll look at that big scoreboard like I just did before you started this program this morning and thought, out of the 7 batsmen, I'll take Green out, so put Carey in. You know, in 12 innings, they accumulated 175 runs in this Test. I mean, we're talking some world-class players with magnificent averages here. Between 12 innings, 6 of them accumulated 175 runs. If that isn't a great opportunity to beat Australia, I don't know what is. So they'll look at that, I think.
Jeremy Coney is by your side, our experts for in-place living specialist disability accommodation designed for you. Hello, Jeremy.
Morning, Gerard. How are you?
Can we make a believer out of you?
Not easily. Of course, the hope's always buried deep in ex-players. Hard to find sometimes. But, yeah, Australia can win today and probably will. Doesn't matter the time as far as they're concerned. New Zealand probably can't. You'd have to claim the extra half hour. I'm just thinking of the maths of the whole thing. They're scoring at 2.7 runs per over. It's going to take them a long time. I don't think they can score a lot faster than that, with Lyon getting the assistance and the sort of bowler he is and bowls for long spells, because there's usually only 4 main bowlers for Australia. That's the way they've operated recently. So he's accustomed to bowling a lot of overs. So that won't become an issue for him. And at the other end, you've got 3 main seamers rotating and bowling 4 and 5 overs from the northern end. It's a nice breeze. I've been out actually and had a look at the surface today. It's quite humidity kind of out there, and the humidity feels a bit, and it might just swing, even though it's 41 overs. I don't know what the condition of the ball is, but it's the sort of thing that you might see just a wee bit of swing, and that would be Stark, I would think, and a wee bit of Cummins. But what I'm saying is, even from the end that you'd like to be scoring from a bit more, that's quite tricky as well. So overall, the package that Australia have makes it more difficult for the New Zealand batsmen. First point, get Ravindra and Mitchell get in again. That's going to be the hard thing, because it's the sort of surface, I don't know what you guys think, but it's the sort of surface I think if you get 1 you might get 3 even, you know, quite quickly. It's hard to establish yourself. Who could score quickly for New Zealand? Well, Ravindra, you've spoken about with Ian. I thought he played very well yesterday. He was challenged, and normally you'd say an off-spinner to a left-hander, you'd say, oh, we like that matchup. We like it. Oh, we don't care who they are. That's a really nice thing, because the outside edge comes into play, and you bring gully and slip and seconds and so on into play. And the drive also comes into play. So I thought he was a lot more organised yesterday, and he caused Lyon some issues. And the issues were, I think, that he couldn't pitch on the stumps quite so much. He wants to, I know that. He came down and sort of looked at the areas that he wanted to bowl into while I was down there. And he said, I wanted to bowl at the stumps a bit more if I can and get the ball across Ravindra's bat, and I want to get the ball to drop a bit more. So those are the 2 things he's working on really hard this morning. But I thought Ravindra handled him well. No drives at all, waiting for something that's slightly shorter, shimmying to give himself a bit of room and playing square on the offside. And that was really the only shot. If it was shorter, then he just used the bunting shot through sort of extra cover. Those were the two areas he scored from. He didn't sweep at all. He wasn't interested in doing any of those things. So I thought he played well. Mitchell, not so easy. He did slog head to head. Yeah, whacked him way over into the environs, didn't he? But I mean, apart from that, it was a battle, and it will continue to be that today. And for New Zealand to win, I think it might even take into tomorrow, and it depends on them. There's a new ball coming in the second session, isn't there? There's 40 odd overs or 39 to go before that second new ball, so they won't get through to that, I don't think, even with a spinner operating in the first session. We'll just wait and see. But I mean, no, Australia can win and probably will. New Zealand, pretty unlikely, but they can do a lot of good things along the way.
So that's what yesterday was. It's a 2-test series. We wish it was a 3-test series, but you can't get routed. So for day one was even, day two was very lopsided. If New Zealand had folded yesterday and shown no resistance, then you just wondered if that would set a tone that would be irretrievable. To fight back so well and keep the questions on Australia's batting order. And those questions, I think, will be intensifying in the setup now. So it was if nothing else happened, it was worth it for that. And then Ravindra gets a foothold against the best attack in the world. These are two material gains.
Oh, absolutely. When we don't play each other very often, it's not like we're planning for next year or anything of that nature, although I was out at dinner the other night with a couple of blokes who think that they can organise a test every year.
Yes, they're keen on that.
So, but having said that...
One test every year.
Yeah, one test a year, home and away.
Yeah.
I just... There are gains. There's already gains. Phillips emerging. Ravindra continuing to emerge. But like Australia's batting lineup, New Zealand has serious issues as well at the moment. And Tom Latham, I sit up here and do I whinge and moan a wee bit, get a bit grumpy? I suppose I do, but I look at the two teams preparing here, and I've been looking at Craig McMillan, of course, who's working in television, former player. There's been a group of 3, 4, 5 people standing around talking to him. A couple of them are out and they can't have any influence on the game, but doesn't mean to say they can't help other people prepare. It doesn't mean to say they can't go to the nets themselves and be professional about their work and prepare for the next test match. They're just standing around. The skipper's just as guilty as that as anyone else. And I'll point the finger at Grant Elliott as well, because he's our co-commentator. He was out there before and he had a nice school of players around him as well.
I've noted that down.
Then I look at Steve Smith, right? I look at Steve Smith right now. He has now been at Leg Gully with this exercise now, and I've had the clock on him. He's into his 14th minute, catching at leg slip, simulating the Nathan Lyon plan of attack today. It's his 14th minute, and there he goes catching another one away to his right. His 14th minute. And I look at a side who are trying to save this test match, kicking a soccer ball around, and I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. Australia having a little bit of fun, but, they can as well. But it's not their key players, their absolute key players, who are going to be instrumental here. They are going about it in a way. Alex Carey has been working at his keeping for 10, 12 minutes as well. But this Steve Smith thing is a classic example. And yesterday we talked to him about why he is such a great catcher and why he went past Mark Waugh. And, he said, because I worked very hard at it. Well, there's the evidence right out there, right here and now, as to the professionalism of Steve Smith. It is no fluke.
It's a habit. New Zealand have got into this casual habit in the morning of a game instead of using the time, productively. The Aussies don't leave things to chance, and New Zealand are.
The warm-ups is an interesting study for Ream. Ream, Australia's favourite hot water. That's steady, hot and strong. Just give us a picture. How unusual is this pitch at this ground? So did I read last night it was the first 5-wicket haul by a New Zealand spinner on home soil in 16 years? And just how frighteningly unusual a spinning pitch is at Basin Reserve.
Well, and here we go. You see, because we believe in Hamilton, the New Zealand team, in their own backyard, read the pitch wrong. They read the pitch wrong and they got the balance of the team wrong, but they were playing South Africa C and they got away with it. They might have read this one wrong as well, because this pitch turned quite markedly for Nathan Lyon on day 2. It turned and it bounced from day 2, and it continues to do so. You ask about the quality of the ball. I heard through the grapevine, I haven't seen it. It went a little bit soft yesterday afternoon. That's why the turn and the bounce wasn't as exaggerated, right? So that might work in New Zealand's favour for the next 39 overs. But having said that, are New Zealand teams reading the pitches? Well, are we finally making pitches that we didn't really want to make because we can't perform on them historically?
I had a long chat to the groundsman. I mean, I looked at the pitch myself, particularly at this the northern end here, because that's the end that Lyon's bowling into. There is a bit of detritus, some rubbish, some rubble.
Some that myself.
Yeah, I know. You need to look after your skin a bit better.
I've got a balm.
So it's and he said to me, yeah, I know, this has surprised us. It's actually a day early. He said, this to me looks like a day 5 surface. And he said the day prior to the game, he wasn't trying to make excuses to me. He said we just had to cover it because the rain was there. And so we couldn't control the amount of water that went onto the surface the day before. He also said that the grass on this, he reckons, is slightly mature. In other words, he's saying it's more established, and he was describing, I think, the leaf to me. And oh dear, I start to lose it when they say this. The leaf of the grass, and he's saying it's more rigid and stronger because it's older.
When you were at university, did you study the leaf a bit more?
The leaf? No, I didn't, Smithy. I stayed pretty solidly with the hop rather than the leaf. But thanks. It gives the same effect, apparently. Basically, it means you sleep longer and don't take so many notes. But anyway, look, and he might be right. This is what they call Paramahoe soil. He likes it here because it suits the environment and it rains a bit more. So it's not like another one called Paramahoe,
right,
which we use in New Zealand, which is what they call I'm talking about the clay, everybody, the clay that the grass grows in. That's a swelling and shrinking clay. So if it gets rain, it all swells up, and then without it shrinks, and so you get different parts of the pitch doing different things depending on the amount of grasses in it. So this suits Wellington, so there's no problem there. He found the day before rather awkward, and he said, I'd like to have taken a bit more, scarified it a bit more early. In other words, to take some of those leaves away a bit. But that said, I said, look, this is okay. It's all right to get it. It's excellent for the development of our game. We'll play a spinner perhaps, more often. We'll captain against spin better, and with spin a bit better. We will get our wicket-keeper able to stand up for ages. That Smithy, we were lucky when we played because we had 2 pretty reasonable spinners, a left-armer called Stephen Bock and John Bracewell, a right-arm off-spinner. So you got a bit more, perhaps, work. But we don't do that nowadays. Blundell isn't used to kind of standing up over after over. So all those things, I think, are ramifications of a surface like this. And I think they said last year, Michael Bracewell, the off-spinner, who's been injured, and they call him the Beast, because he hits the ball, smashes it. But he got quite a lot of turn against England. I wasn't here for that, so I don't know. But, I don't have a problem with it turning like this. I think it's good our players have to become better players generally.
Is Glenn Phillips going to be a Test cricketer, Ian Smith?
He is going to be a Test cricketer. I've got to say he's convinced me in this Test match that he stood up, and I always judge how good I think someone's going to be against the best, and Australia are the best, and he has been standing up against the very best. He took them on in the first innings. He's going to have to play an interesting type innings today. I don't think he has to change his character. He's a naturally aggressive player, but I've been impressed with Glenn Phillips. I've got to say, he to me, with a 5-wicket bag against Australia, suggests he could do a lot more development with his bowling, and then he could be an integral part of the side, which might be a bit of a death knell for someone like a Santner. But I really do think Glenn Phillips, who I understand played very well in Bangladesh on a very tough turning pitch and established himself there, so he might be a man for all conditions. We'll see, but
Yeah, good in the park as well. He adds add a bit of pace to an ageing kind of movement-wise side. I think he is too. I think he's exciting. Today is not going to be easy for him. I don't think Lyons are going to be easy today. I'd rather he tried to attack the quick men at the other end of the pitch rather than Lyons.
Here's an interesting one, Gerard.
Yeah.
I know you were researching for cricket out here late into the evening last night.
What?
But
I was on the leaf.
Ajaz Patel got 7 for 78 yesterday at the Bay Oval.
Okay.
Ajaz
Patel, he's a left-arm orthodox spinner. Yeah.
Okay. Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney. Glenn Phillips is going to join us momentarily on our pre-game show for Nilex, experts in watering. Righto, my favourite part of the day. Best case scenario, Smithy, for New Zealand. Plotted out.
Now, this is the interesting one, because I reckon my one's a bit easier.
Right, okay, the best scenario for New Zealand is that they go on, perform something unbelievably good and win this test match. Perhaps in the last half hour, when we claim it for victory, when we 3 down, Ian Smith coming out here, perhaps we lose one. No.
You give them one.
I think we could have a cliffhanger in the last hour, Gerard. You calling one of the great finishes for the Trans-Tasman rivalry. So that's what my optimistic thing is. We go down to the wire, and it's very, very close, and New Zealand push Australia the whole way. That's the way I do. And the real optimist in me says the bowlers are going to book a limo, right?
Yep.
Drive up to the Mount Victoria, which is just behind it, with the lights on, and party looking down on the harbour. Yeah. That's the tradition when New Zealand win test matches at the Basin. So the booking for the limo is open at this stage.
Love it.
Yeah,
Jeremy Coney, what is the worst case scenario?
I hate this one you gave.
He's in Picton tonight.
Swum the straight today later on, because I'd have plenty of time. I think if they lose Ravindra, particularly because he's the left-handed man who's remaining, really, they're all right-handers, and I think the ball coming across the right-handers is more difficult with the men in close on the leg side. He goes early, third over, and then New Zealand sort of just fall by the wayside, and it could be over by lunch.
Oh, that is the
That's
worst
really
case
well.
scenario.
You asked me for the worst.
Absolutely, I did, and you fulfilled that.
That just makes Gerard feel better though when he asks.
I know he always smiles. He looks forward to me saying these terrible things.
I know this man. It's a reason why he does it. He wants the worst scenario to finish on, so then he goes, yes.
Oh, good. I'll have plenty of time to pack my bag.
That Coney's my kind of a guy. That's absolutely nothing that
get
he's
him
talking
on.
about.
That's right. Everyone else saying get him off.
It's a day for the Ted Lassos. It's a day for the Andy Dufresnes. 8833 to correspond with us in New Zealand. Our Australian audience joins us shortly. Our pre-game is for Nilex, experts in watering. We'll hear from Glenn Phillips and Stephen Smith next.
For Azine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
It's the Black Caps and White Ferns Summer of More. More action, more vibes, more epic crowd energy, more sixes, more catches, more good times with your mates, more culture, more fans, more you had to be there moments. 32 matches, 9 cities, and 6 international touring teams, including the England women's team and the Aussie men's team. Don't miss the Black Caps and White Ferns Summer of More. Get tickets now at nzc.nz.
Get so much more with the great Garage Store from Garage Auckland.
Every Aucklander deserves to have a strong, safe, secure Garrador Auckland garage door. From Wellsford to Waiuku, Garrador Auckland service the whole of Auckland, and with a 10-year warranty, they're hard to beat. GarradorAuckland.co.nz.
Get so much more with the great Garage Door from Garrador Auckland.
Hi, Paul here from Waterforce, keeping your lawns, gardens, parks, subdivisions, sports fields and golf courses looking green and lush is what we do best. We're also experts in improving water quality so it's safe to drink and use. We help a wide variety of residential and commercial clients around New Zealand to use their water as efficiently and effectively as possible. Waterforce offers custom design solutions for your individual needs and supplies the best quality products and equipment for the job. Download our home irrigation planning guide to get started at waterforce.co.nz.
I've always tried to make good choices for my family's future and their happiness. Having an enjoyable and safe building experience is about choosing the right builder. So put your family in safe hands and choose GJ's with their proven track record. In over 25 years of business and with close to 23,000 builds, GJ's has completed every home we've ever started, a fact we're very proud of. Make a wise choice and choose New Zealand's most trusted home builder. GJ's, here today and tomorrow.
Create your field of dreams by unlocking the full potential of your sports surface with Mixted Sports Turf. From schools to stadiums, Mixted Sports Turf provides personalised, top-quality solutions for the construction and maintenance of natural and hybrid turf for all sporting codes. From concept, pricing, design and maintenance to upgrades, experience the Mixted difference, where passion, expertise and commitment come together to exceed your expectations. Your turf, our priority. Visit them today at mixteds.co.nz. That's MEXTEDS.co.nz.
There are plenty of challenges currently in farming. And with Farm IQ and FarmX, you can trust your gut feeling and make the right decision sooner. How do we know? Our staff use Farm IQ and FarmX on their farms. Farm IQ sorts all your compliance and performance information, and FarmX lets you test decisions before you implement them. What if the payout drops, there's a drought, or there's no space at the works? Let FarmX that. To start recording with Farm IQ and predicting with FarmX, call 0800 327 647.
Need to buy or sell equipment and machinery? Ritchie Bros brings you New Zealand's National Iron Planner End of Financial Year Auction, March 21. Buy and sell with confidence in New Zealand's first machinery auction of the year. Bid on everything from tractors, harvesters, dozers, trucks and heaps more. The Ritchie Bros New Zealand National Iron Planner End of Financial Year Auction, March 21. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, inspect on-site, bid online at rbauction.com.au. Get more with Ritchie Bros.
Need a taxi? Call Auckland Co-op Taxis 09 300 3000. Catching up with friends. Entertaining with colleagues and clients. Need a safe ride home after the party? Do it all with one call. 09 300 3000. Auckland Co-op Taxis. Part of Blue Bubble nationwide.
Safe and reliable. So book your Blue Bubble.
Auckland Co-op Taxis 09 300 3000.
For Razine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
The pre-game show for Nilex. Water your garden with Nilex. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
New Zealand will resume on day 4 at 3 for 111. Ravindra is 56 and Mitchell is 12. 258 further runs required. Australia needs 7 wickets to retain the Trans-Tasman Trophy. Our pre-game is for Nilex, experts in watering on SEN and SENZ Test cricket. So we're going to head into both camps and check on the pitch. So let's start with our pitch report. Thanks to PGG Wrightson Turf, New Zealand's industry-leading turf experts. Adam Collins is with Grant Elliott.
Morning 4 down here in the middle. Adam Collins with Grant Elliott. We're told the weather rocked up to Wellington last night, this huge thunderstorm, then it veered off in another direction. It feels to me like the cricket gods have got the big finish on a Sunday afternoon on their mind.
The cricket gods are thinking this is going to be a historic win for New Zealand at some stage. That's what they're thinking. Listen, Wellington weather, you can't predict it. You can't predict Test cricket. Who would have predicted that we'd be in this position now with a turning wicket at the Basin, Glenn Phillips with Pfeiffer? I mean, it's been a test wicket that's been testing, but it's been entertaining as well.
So after we've gotten through that risk of rain last night, none's forecast today. For what it is worth, that's very little in this part of the world. In terms of the 22 yards that matter most behind us here, maybe not as many footmarks for Nathan Lyon to aim at outside the right-handers off stump. Simply put, because Mitchell Starc didn't have to bowl an awful lot in the first innings.
Didn't bowl a few overs in the first innings, but he definitely got a change of sprigs in the second innings. I don't know if that was the
pre-game show for Nilex. Water your garden with Nilex. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
New Zealand will resume on day 4 at 3 for 111. Ravindra is 56 and Mitchell is 12. 258 further runs required. Australia needs 7 wickets to retain the Trans-Tasman Trophy. Our pre-game is for Nilex, experts in watering on SEN and SENZ Test cricket. So we're going to head into both camps and check on the pitch. So let's start with our pitch report. Thanks to PGG Wrightson Turf, New Zealand's industry-leading turf experts. Adam Collins is with Grant Elliott.
Morning 4 down here in the middle. Adam Collins with Grant Elliott. We're told the weather rocked up to Wellington last night, this huge thunderstorm, then it veered off in another direction. It feels to me like the cricket gods have got the big finish on a Sunday afternoon on their mind.
The cricket gods are thinking this is going to be a historic win for New Zealand at some stage. That's what they're thinking. Listen, Wellington weather, you can't predict it. You can't predict Test cricket. Who would have predicted that we'd be in this position now with a turning wicket at the Basin, Glenn Phillips with Pfeiffer? It's been a test wicket that's been testing, but it's been entertaining as well.
So after we've gotten through that risk of rain last night, none's forecast today for what it is worth. That's very little in this part of the world. In terms of the 22 yards that matter most behind us here, maybe not as many footmarks for Nathan Lyon to aim at outside the right-handers off stump. Simply put, because Mitchell Starc didn't have to bowl an awful lot in the first innings.
Didn't bowl a few overs in the first innings, but he definitely got a change of sprigs in the second innings. I don't know if that was the long sprigs that he was putting in to potentially get something turning up on for the right-hander, but for the left-hander looks a little bit more ominous. There is a few footholes, and I think we've seen, Glenn Phillips was turning it. Nathan Lyon is going to be, a huge part to play, and the way that Australia rotate the seamers. So bit of turn, especially to the left-handers, and I think the seamers, we've seen a bit of variable bounce. A lot of guys getting wrapped on the gloves, and when you look at the scoreboard, you see a lot of guys with 30s and 40s. You don't see many players that have got in, and the reason being is because it's a hard wicket to get in and feel like you're actually comfortable with it and trust the surface.
Phillips was saying that there's extra pace in the pitch that he didn't expect as an off-spinner yesterday, which aided his bag of 5 wickets. Steve Smith, after play yesterday, saying there wasn't quite as much turn for Nathan Lyon once the ball got a bit softer, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the course of the day. One thing that's not a factor, it's barely a gust of wind at all. I called it a gale on air and got sledged by Coney and Smith, but look, Nathan Lyon won't be pushing into much.
Yeah, this is a beautiful day for cricket in Wellington. Batting or bowling, the elements are just perfect, but that can change at any stage in Wellington, as we know from this morning.
258 to get. There were heaps of runs made here on day 4 last year. We will see. Cannot wait. The pitch report thanks to PGG Wrightson Turf, and today is a sellout as well. The first 4 days of this test match were sold out, so we should have a terrific crowd on a Sunday as it comes to a climax. Let's head into the Black Caps camp. Daniel McHardy is downstairs with Glenn Phillips after his first 5-wicket test haul.
Well, he's rearing to go. Glenn Phillips joins us ahead of what could be an utterly fascinating day, number 4 at the Basin Reserve. Glenn, huge day for the team yesterday, for you personally. From an individual perspective, how sweet was that?
Oh, that was a dream come true. Obviously, I've been trying to push the bowling case for a long time, and to be able to get the opportunity on a pitch that was turning and offering something was brilliant. And to be able to, I guess, look at the result and have that sort of outcome was fantastic. But it's been a long process leading up to that point, and a lot of faith from Timmy and also from a lot of the coaches. So it's really pleasing to have that as a result.
Reaping rewards. You spend a lot of time, don't you? It's something you've worked incredibly hard at. There's no fluke in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I definitely work as hard as possible on it. It's my passion at the end of the day, and so I guess the hard work comes a little easier in that case. But as I said, I've had a serious support network leading up to this point, and for the results to come off and for the belief that other people have had in me and also myself leading up to that point is, I guess, as I said, the dream come true.
Yeah, the celebrations. It was so wonderful to see you enjoy it. Was anything in particular behind it?
No, absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, it's just the emotion coming out into expression, I suppose. And for me, as I said, taking wickets is something that I absolutely love to do. And each reaction is individual to the moment. And I guess Matt Henry just happened to be in the way of my final little celebration there. And, no words can really describe something that you've worked so hard for.
What were you most pleased about the craft yesterday? I know the pitch offered something. Was it the shape, the amount of turn, the accuracy, the consistency? What left you most happy?
I think the amount of turnout there was definitely the most pleasing thing. I think that's something I try and pride myself on, is if my accuracy is a little bit down, at least I should be able to turn the ball. And obviously Lyon showed it out there as well, that he can turn it massive, and which I think is making it a really interesting test pitch. So I think going forward it's going to be an interesting day's cricket.
What a wonderful position for the game, from the observer perspective. You said all the right things at the end of day two. I wasn't sure if I believed those words coming out of your mouth, but that belief's really strong now.
Yeah, the belief in the side is always strong. We pride ourselves on fighting right to the end, and obviously results aside, that's the sort of thing where we, rate ourselves on at the end of the day, the things that we can control, the processes that we can control, and it's going to be the same again today. Go out there, start from ball one, and I guess try and stick to the things that we know best, and if we do that, hopefully we come out on the top end.
Well, you've got your pads, gloves, bat ready to go. I'll let you get into your process and prepare for today's play. Appreciate your time.
Cheers. Thanks, Dan.
Daniel McHardy there with Glenn Phillips, one of the stars of yesterday, and he's an essential component for New Zealand today. On the Australian side of things, Steve Smith went past the catching record of Mark Waugh yesterday as he took his 182nd Test dismissal. Ricky Ponting is the flag bearer for Australia at 196, and it was a splendid catch to do so. Smith spoke with Adam Collins and Bharat Sundaresan as he left the field.
Got Stephen Smith with us down here. Another interesting day's cricket here at Wellington. Let's start with a couple of those snaffles. That one off Travis Head at slip, an absolute beauty. I think you overtaken Mark Waugh today as well in terms of career catches. It must be something you're very proud of over many years, how reliable you've been behind the wicket.
Yeah, look, I pride myself on my catching. I work hard on it, so it's nice when those ones stick. I kind of didn't pick it up initially, and I was going to my right and just stuck the hand out. I was joking with the guys. I don't know if you guys know the Mighty Ducks 2, Julie the Cat Gaffney in that final. I was joking about that, so fortunately it stuck.
What a reference point that is, by the way. So the game, I suppose it drifted a little bit in the last hour or so, but in a strong position. Even if you didn't maybe make the runs you would have liked in the second innings, all out for 164.
Yeah, no, we're in a good spot. I felt like the spin might have just died down a bit. I think the newer ball, the seam was just gripping a bit more, and it was spinning quite violently and bouncing as well. So Gaz looked like he was going to get a wicket every ball, but we're in a good spot. A couple of early ones in the morning, and hopefully we can go through them.
Yeah, it's been that kind of fast-moving test, hasn't it? It's from the beginning, really, since you guys were put in. Does that also play into just the way you guys batted? Like there was that ultra-aggression from some of them?
I'm not sure. I've been in another change room the whole time, so I haven't really spoken to anyone because of our COVID. But it was just I think guys were just playing what they saw in front of them, and I think we're in a nice spot now. So hopefully we can get a couple early ones tomorrow and carry on from there.
Oh, I did see you walking in with a mask on, so that's what it was.
There you go.
The third test into opening the batting, Steve? Do you have like a thing on how you're going and are you taking it innings by innings in that sense?
Honestly, I'm not even thinking about it as an opening spot. I'm just going out and batting and trying to do my job and score runs, and I thought I batted quite nicely in the first innings in trying conditions, and then played a pretty ordinary one in the second innings. Wasn't really concentrating, so I feel like I'm batting nicely. Everything feels in a good place, so hopefully some runs in the next test match.
And from your perspective, in terms of taking this role on as opener, third test in now, huge summer next year against India, sort of looking at that as a real high-profile series where you can bat through the series and make plenty of runs up top.
Yeah, I hope so. I think there's obviously been some positives come from it so far. Greeny batted at number 4, batted like a wizard in the first innings and played nicely in the second innings as well. And I think that's part of what the move was about as well. So I feel like we've got a really good team at the moment. When guys are missing out, other guys are stepping up and scoring runs, and we're sort of not just leaving it up to one or two people. It's a whole combined 6 or 7 that are getting the job done more often than not.
And you sort of saw that bigger picture when you were wanting to make that decision to move from number 4. You wanted to get Cameron Green back in the side. That was something you identified as well?
Yeah, it was spoken about throughout with Ron and Paddy, and they were keen to play what they saw as the best 6 batters, and I just didn't feel comfortable personally putting Cam up to the top, and I was keen to go up and do it. So that was the reason, I suppose.
All right, Steve Smith, thanks for joining us today after play. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Steve Smith last night. That's thanks to Red Energy. Switch to 100% Aussie-owned Red Energy, redenergy.com.au. So they're filling inside both camps. Australia needs 7 wickets. New Zealand need a further 258 runs. Keep cool this summer with a Ream-branded Cool Cabana or Ream Budgie Smugglers. To register now for your chance to win, visit iCanWin.com.au. We'll bring Daniel McHardy, Grant Elliott and Bharat Sundaresan in to discuss the state of things and who's a believer, who can see the hope on the New Zealand side of the equation as we enter day 4. Our pre-game is for Nilex, experts in watering.
For Zing, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
Love your Toyota? Don't miss the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. It's your chance to drive on one of the country's top motorsport circuits. Now's the time to register. Just search 2024 Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, March 9th.
No time for dinner because the big game's on. Get your Macca's favourites delivered with Mick Delivery. Dinner sorted. And you won't miss a thing. That's a real win-win. Big Delivery, delivering your Macca's favourites straight to your door. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Looking for a big tractor to get the job done? Then you can't go past Kubota's M72. Available from 130 to 170 horsepower, there's a M72 that's right for you. And every new machine includes a big 5-year warranty, making the Kubota M72 the tractor of choice. Speak with your local Kubota dealer or visit kubota.co.nz to learn more. Kubota, shaping New Zealand.
Playing it really late, even on a pitch with quick turn, kind of tells you he's got a great eye, but he's also got that really softness in his feet and the way he moves it, which is why I attribute it to the Indian blood.
I'm really fascinated to get your thoughts, Grant, on one Daryl Mitchell, who's had to work very, very hard throughout this. I think he's faced 63 odd balls in this innings, and if you go back to the first one, he only made 11 off 37. He's 12 not out of 63. It's the 4th best batsman in the world according to the ICC Test World Rankings. He's a massively important player.
He's a huge player. I mean, you know, for New Zealand, we look at Matt Henry, who's been someone that stood out for the bowling unit in the last 18 months. Well, Daryl Mitchell stood out as well in all 3 formats. He's been undeniably one of the best players that New Zealand have had in batting form. But he's taken a test off with an injury, that heel injury, and, you know, maybe there's a bit of fatigue there. We were speaking about fatigue the other day, Bharat, but, I mean, everyone struggled on this wicket, Daniel. It's not just Daryl Mitchell. Cameron Green struggled at the start of his innings. He wasn't looking fluent. He only started looking fluent from 80 on. And I think that it has to be acknowledged it's a tough wicket, but also you're facing the world's best in Australia. So, you know, yes, he's 12 of 63. Hopefully he can find a method and a bit of fluency out there, but no one has as of yet. Rutchin's looked probably as fluent as anyone out of the New Zealand team.
And we can't hyper-focus on Nathan Lyon. New Zealand can't afford to hyper-focus on Nathan Lyon either. This is not a one-man attack. This is, you got the best, among the best to have ever played this format of the game in Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc. And then you still have, if you needed Cameron Green and Mitch Marshall, even Travis Head, who will give it a rip. Look, it is a monumental task. I spoke about romance for a reason, because you have to be a romantic to even believe New Zealand will get close. The pitch is not easy to bat on. It's a massive mountain to climb from even this point on. If, say, that they were just one down, maybe you could have believed a lot more. But yeah, I mean, you can't really start even contemplating New Zealand getting close unless they get it to within, say, 150 runs and they haven't lost more than 1 wicket from here.
Yeah.
Well, that's only 100 runs away.
Yeah, I agree, Bharat.
You want me to be a romantic?
Yes.
I'll do my best. I'll bring in some incense. a nice bowl of red.
Maybe I'll
dim the lights for you, and it will be wonderful. But I did love Nathan Lyon also in the press conference last night. You know, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here. How confident are you? And he goes, when I look at the bowling attack at the changing rooms, I feel pretty confident about most things.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the confidence that New Zealand have when Williamson's at the crease. Except for this game, you know, There's a sense of calm. There's a sense of confidence that someone's going to get the job done. And winning is a habit. You know, I've played in teams. I've played in teams where you just believe you can win from any position. And I think this Australian team, they're confident. You know, they're winners. And teams that haven't won test matches or matches in general, they get to those pressure situations, and inevitably when it goes 50-50, it doesn't go their way because there's pressure. We saw that with the catches from New Zealand towards the back end of the innings where there was drop catches. It was just that pressure, that feeling that we want this so badly. You're looking at the scoreboard, you're thinking of the results instead of just focusing on the process, ball by ball. And that's what Rachin Ravindra has to do today. He has to start again. He has to just take it ball by ball. He's the key, in my opinion. For Rachin Ravindra, if he can bat a long innings and do what Cameron Green did in the first innings, well, maybe New Zealand get close. Maybe we can light the candles, open a bottle of red and get romantic in this commentary box.
Just tell me about the wind here. It looks like a fickle day wind-wise. It's currently coming from the northwest. It's supposed to swing around to the southwest and then swing back to the northwest. See if Nathan Lyon is bowling into the wind yesterday and got a lot of turn. But from the other end, not a lot of turn.
Yeah, it does seem to go more from the one end, doesn't it, Bharat? From the Adelaide Road end.
So you'd be quite happy if it swung around to the south, so he's bowling downwind.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they'll have to watch that. Like I said to Adam this morning, he was like, oh, it's meant to be a big thunderstorm, but there isn't. It's missed us. And I said, listen, we can't predict the weather in Wellington. You just can't predict it, just like you can't predict Test cricket.
I feel like a broken record on that one, absolutely. All right, fellas, lovely to hear from you. Full of romance.
Yeah, no, exactly. And what Grant and I are going to do is go into the back, spray some flirty floral on our hair and just believe and just sit there and feel
I've never done that. I've never sprayed flirty floral in my hair, but I'm willing to give. If it means New Zealand can win and it's good chakras, I'm willing to give it a go.
We'll go down, get Jeremy Coney's musical case, get out some Burt Baccarat that he's probably got there. Absolutely. Enjoy it, fellas. 8 minutes away from the start of day number 4, New Zealand to resume at 111 for the loss of 3 wickets, chasing 369 for the win. Rachin Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell, huge figures in this game. Nathan Lyon and that awesome Australian bowling attack too. Our pre-game is for Nilex, experts in watering after this break. It will be mere moments from the first ball on day number 4.
For Razine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
The skies are overcast in Wellington. The breeze has got up in the last 15 minutes or so, and we are about to embark on the first session of day 4. For Before You Dig, lodge a free inquiry online. New Zealand 3 for 111, Ravindra 56 and Mitchell 12. They are about to stride over the rope and pick up the chase for New Zealand. Our pre-match has been for Nilex. Water your garden with Nilex, available at Bunnings Warehouse. Australia needs 7 wickets. New Zealand requires a further 258 runs. The warm-ups have been for Ream manufacturing in Australia for more than 80 years. Ian Smith, welcome back.
Gerard, Whateley, thank you very much for the welcome. And I've been giving this day of cricket a lot of thought. Been out the back pacing, actually. I've been pacing out the back, trying to work out a plan.
Running, haven't you been?
Not running, okay, Jeremy. Don't start the ribbing already, please. Got a bad leg, actually. Look, there was an Ironman in Taupo yesterday. I missed out on it due to injury. I'm disappointed about that. I'm very, very disappointed. But what I am looking forward to, fight today, and that's what I've been out the back practicing, fighting, making it so hard and making progress at the same time. Frustrating Australia. 39 overs away from a new ball. If New Zealand are still batting with batsmen at the crease when they choose to take that, we're going to have a day out, Gerard Whateley, and I look forward to spending it with you.
I'm excited for the prospects, Jeremy Coney.
Yeah, when you asked me today earlier about the worst scenario, I should really have grasped the nettle, shouldn't I? I should have said it's going to rain today and tomorrow and Australia will get away with a draw. That should have been the worst scenario when you see.
That would have been excellent. The players arriving in the middle here as they look to begin this 4th day's play. We're about to unite our nations. To our Australian audience, welcome to Basin Reserve on an overcast Sunday with the breezes getting up for what shapes as the climactic day of cricket in this first test. The equations for Australia are a little more straightforward than for New Zealand. 7 wickets away from victory. New Zealand require a further 258 runs. That overall total of 369 would be the highest ever successful chase by a New Zealand team. So it would be absolutely famous if it were to happen. 3 for 111. Rachin Ravindra represents the figure of great hope. If Ted Lasso or Andy Dufresne were looking for a figure, they would turn to Ravindra
What
today.
a movie. What a movie. Not Ted. Ted. You can't compare Ted to Shawshank Redemption. You cannot.
Have New Zealand just been digging away behind the poster, carving out a tunnel that Australia never suspected
and burying the secret to it in a brick wall somewhere under a tree in another state.
Mitch Starc is going to pick it up. He's bowling from the Adelaide Road end. I think that's the first time in the Test match he will have bowled from that end. Daryl Mitchell has the strike. 2 slips a gully and a leg gully in place. Starc outside the off stump.
Which is interesting for me, you know, and I would have thought almost certainly Nathan Lyon would have opened up because he's the most threatening bowler, to be perfectly honest. And then there for Jeremy, does that mean a change of wind direction?
Well, it might be, but certainly when I was down there, it was a little bit humid. And I said to you guys earlier that may be the possibility of swing. If it's going to be, I know we're 41 overs old. We're into this 42nd over. The ball won't be brilliant. It'll be a bit soft, if anything, too, I would say. And I think that was reported yesterday, wasn't it, that there wasn't quite so much turn later on in the day.
Starc into the breeze, an unfamiliar role. He bowls to Mitchell, who's in behind and running the ball to off, no run.
So is Lyon going to either come in second after Starc up there, or is he going to come from the northern end? You would think, looking at yesterday, he bowled 16 overs of the 40, something like that. There's another 40 to go. You'd expect him to bowl between 16 and 20.
Now, tell me, you've been speaking to the groundsman. I haven't even had a look at the pitch. It's not my business. But what about Nathan Lyon bowling from this, the RA Advanced stand-in, in terms of traffic on the pitch?
Yeah, not so much.
Right, okay.
Not so much bowling from the northern end as there is coming from the southern where he bowled so far in the match.
Hazelwood's down at fine leg, so we'll see in a moment's time. Mitchell drives to mid-off. Labuschagne so good. Across the ground, diving, stretching and fielding, preventing the first runs of the day.
Oh, gee, that's good fielding, isn't it? And 2 hands, not just the dive. It was not one hand hoping for it. That was 2 hands. I'm going to make this very secure indeed. Gee, that's good for your bowler. I can pitch up there and get a drive, and this guy's going to cover some territory for me.
Lyon is warming up at point. It'll be so interesting if they switch tactics and he bowls with the wind. Warming up for Ream. 2 slips, Quadron Smith. Gully's green, leg slip is Marsh. Starc over the wicket bowls and Mitchell leaves outside the off stump.
No sign of swing there at the moment, just angle.
Mitchell back into his routine, which is batting on the crease or just outside and almost teasing by walking at Starc, trying to upset his length. As long as he walks down the line of off stump, I don't mind that because he still knows exactly where the line of off stump is. When they start walking outside off stump or walking down the leg side, I'm not so keen on it because then you lose your bearings a wee bit. But Mitchell's plan, he's about 3-4 inches out with his back foot at the moment. As he faces Starc.
He's 12 from 67 balls. Mitchell, tall figure at the crease. Starc bowls to him well outside off and uninterested.
I haven't spoken to many bowlers, to be honest, just between us three. Don't tend to get too many fast bowlers in the commentary box for some reason. I don't know why.
No,
but
they're injured.
I don't know, perhaps they are. But I don't know what the thing is about fast bowlers not being great commentators. I really don't know. But here's the thing. I've never really spoken to one about how upsetting it is when a batsman is walking at you and you're a quick bowler with a world-class reputation.
Starc pushes in from the top of his mark. Past umpire Rasmussen bowls. Mitchell shoulders arms. And the first over passes without incident. 3 for 111 Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia. And Nathan Lyon is going to bowl from the RA Vance stand end.
Okay, well, that's interesting, but tidy over from Stark, just not really threatening the stumps, just on angle so far. Looks as if it might be just, it's a sou'wester. So we've actually have got a change of direction of breeze. It's not coming from behind us in the RA Vance stand down the ground. It's now turned around and it's coming on an angle about 45 degrees to our right. That's and that's why the change has come about. And so Nathan Lyon is going to be operating from the opposite end.
When I'm 120, 30 yards away from Jerry, but I can see dark patches outside of Ravindra's off
Yes,
stump.
for the left hand. That's always in there, though, Smithy.
Okay,
Fourth
cool.
day, that's the shame about being a left-hander. Well, they kept on telling me, it's easy for you, Coney. And that's, well, it should have been too.
Why not?
Well, why not? But Bruce Edgar and Wright would get beside me, sitting either side. Both left-hand openers.
SEN and SENZ Test cricket for Resina. The paint professionals use a slip, a bat pad, a backward point and a deep point cover. Down below us is long off. That's where Hazelwood's on patrol. Mid on, mid wicket, and deep backward square fine leg. Line around the wicket starts his work. Ravindra back and cutting out to Marsh, who's at the deep point.
There's that square. Hitting square again from Ravindra. A shot that really worked very well for him yesterday. Lyon dragging down just a little short.
It doesn't have to be that little short, though, for Ravindra, because it's such an instinctive shot. I mean, that's first ball that he's faced, and, he's back into his work already, and that's his comfort zone, is to get a delivery there that he can do that with. I've got a text here, Gerard. Question for the commentators. With the ball being approximately 40 overs old, will it have changed, deteriorated overnight? Well, we're not privy to it. We don't see the ball. But what I did listen to last night is Steve Smith being interviewed, and he said the ball had gone softer, and for that reason Nathan Lyon wasn't quite as effective. So that's the only information I can give you on that. And they've still got 38 overs to bowl with it, basically.
Lyon with the cable net on, and he bowls Mitchell forward and defending. So a leg slip and a bat pad for Mitchell.
Harder for Mitchell if there's any turn. Two men on the leg side in close, so that leg slip, of course.
And around the wicket.
Yeah.
That awkward round the wicket angle.
Bringing LBW into play if it doesn't bounce quite so much.
Lyon bowls. Mitchell's on the advance. Smothers the spin back to the bowler.
And what we're looking at, Jerry, was that we've got three on the offside. One is the first slip. But Daryl Mitchell has a penchant for coming down the wicket and hitting straight.
Yes.
And if it's not turning, he can do that.
Correct.
And he can hit over the offside if it's not turning.
Tried once yesterday, nearly stumped.
Lyon to Mitchell, reverse sweep. He didn't get it away. Tried that a few times yesterday. He struck it well enough, but Stark is there at backward point, which becomes backward square.
Yeah, he's there for that stroke. It's been set deliberately. If he doesn't get the length and it bounces a little bit more, brings the top edge into play, and therefore Stark in the position.
Mitchell from the crease nudges the ball out to Stark. Ravindra calls him through. Difficulties at the non-strikers. If Stark had been able to come up with a long direct throw, he didn't. Lyon in behind it. Mitchell made his ground. The batters would just go and have a chat to each other about whether that was judicious. 3 for 113.
Ravindra's call.
It is Ravindra's call. In the old days it was. Goes behind square, non-striker's call. Ravindra going to the danger end had that situation under control. Daryl Mitchell was ball watching and didn't quite trust him initially.
And hesitated too.
The Bunnings trade replay screen. Mitchell probably would have scrambled to his ground. It would have been a decent heart starter. Line to Ravindra, who's back and cutting again. He won't beat Green this time at the backward point. He dives fields and saves the run. 3 for 113 after a couple of overs. The Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you this tax time with 134 Trade. Call 0800 134 872 for on-the-spot product inquiries, fast quoting and on-site delivery. Tax time sorted. Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
No time for dinner because the big game's on. Get your Macca's favourites delivered with McDelivery. Dinner sorted. And you won't miss a thing. That's a real win-win. McDelivery. Delivering your Macca's favourites straight to your door. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Manus Labuschagne's leaving the field straight away. When he dived to field, he's got discomfort?
He's got blood on his right elbow.
Okay.
So just patch-up job, I would imagine.
So Renshaw has come on the ground early doors. SEN and SENZ Test cricket for Resene, the paint professionals use. Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney on duty. In-place living specialist disability accommodation designed for you. Mitchell's 13. Ravindra is 57. New Zealand is 3 for 113. Stark is in operation from the Adelaide Road end. He bowls to Mitchell in behind defending.
So now, Gerard, we now start looking a bit more south or southerly direction for the weather. And at this stage, quite high overcast. The weather comes in from the south. You can almost give it a 10 or 15 minute warning. You can actually see it coming down Adelaide Road. The road gets wet, and then that's when you put your brolly up or start getting the cards out.
So I think the forecast is mid-afternoon sunshine. So we've just got to get through the next couple of hours to get to the best portion of Sunday. Stark in operation over the wicket. He bowls to Mitchell, who tucks the ball from the hip to mid-wicket, no run.
You know, Gerard, I had breakfast with a guy who was part of the... you went to the Dragon boats yesterday as you walked past. Yep. Well, he was actually one of the paddlers. I think they're called paddlers rather than rowers, oarsmen. And there's 22 in the boat, he was telling me, and they were very heavy boats because you're in Wellington. The swell gets a bit more, so the sides are a bit higher. One boat capsized yesterday in some of the races.
I'm not surprised.
They're about sort of 400 metres, I think, the race. There's a guy at the back who's steering. He's called the sweep, apparently. He's telling me all this while we ate our eggs.
Mitchell leaves.
And there's a guy also, a drummer at the front. And the stroke is set. You know how fast you paddle. You're leaning, of course, you're sitting beside somebody else, and so you're leaning slightly one side to your left or to your right, using two hands on it and then pulling as hard as you can, long arm, straight arm, and then long stroke, and you sort of sit up at the same time. So a pretty physical kind of workout, I would think. But he said they won, and he was from Sydney.
Yep.
And they won, I think, 3 golds yesterday and did pretty well, so he was pleased.
Stark bowls to Mitchell. He pushes forward out to mid-off, and he's able to take a single. 3 for 114. They're going to applaud every run today. You can feel it already.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So the drummer at the front. So everyone's looking at the drummer, and his head is going, and he's banging the drum according to looking at the first 2 paddlers at the speed of everyone can take that at how many strokes a minute I do. So quite interesting, the whole thing. The guys capsized yesterday because it was a wee bit windy, if you noticed yesterday, wasn't it? So they went over, and they're too heavy to right again, so they were just in the water until someone picks them up, and he said they were in the water about 20 minutes.
Wow.
So it sounds a good thing to do.
Yeah, it was great. It was a big setup when I walked past yesterday. There were going to be a lot of competitors, and
they start in that little lagoon, and it's very, very calm and quiescent there. But suddenly you go out and then you hit the waves.
Stark trying to create some waves as he bowls to Ravindra, who's on 57. Batter defends away to mid-off.
Jerry, what's your word for the day? We've got a text in. Was quiescent your word? Quiescent.
Calm means calm, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But
well, I can use
Jeremy, what's your word for the day?
Well, I don't know.
Text is coming.
Okay. I don't know. Parsimonious.
Parsimonious. I don't mind that.
Yeah, okay.
That's quite...
Sounds church-like, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not, is it?
Listen to the parsimonious up there.
Parsimonious, is it?
Difficult to get away.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
Stark's last ball of the over. Clipped away by Ravindra, but straight to mid-on, no run. 3 for 114, the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Sports fans rejoice. The voice of sport in New Zealand has his own show.
Brilliant. absolutely brilliant performance.
That's right. You can catch Ian Smith every weekday on SENZ from 9 a.m.
For God's sake, how many hints do you want? That's right.
Cricket, rugby, even rugby league. You better believe he's on the WAS train.
Tune in, all right? We'll be tuning in. Look, Kevin.
Mornings with Ian Smith, 9 till 12, weekday mornings on SENZ.
This opening session of day 4 for Before You Dig Australia. 3 for 114. Ravindra is 57. Mitchell is 14. Lyon has 2 for 29. He's bowling from the broadcast end. He's got Mitchell to aim up at the start of the over. Lyon around the wicket bowls, and Mitchell back lets it pass down the leg side.
Not so much turn for Lyon yet. Warm the fingers up. What he would like to get is bounce, and I think that's what we saw as it went past sort of about the hip, if you like, hip high of Mitchell.
Half a dozen steps on the approach and bowls. Mitchell defends upright.
And he might not mind that. He might not mind the fact that it's not turning so much. He wants to bowl more on the stumps if he can. With all the turn yesterday from the other end, it was beating the off stump all the time, and batsmen, once you get in, can handle that. But he's bringing the stumps more into play with this.
Mitchell readies himself, leans a long way forward to block.
Just wonder how long Darryl Mitchell's prepared to do this.
That's right.
I mean, he just it plays it really, really well. A lofted drive down the ground. He's got to be able to, if he can,
there's a long on,
almost inside out here.
No long off.
If he gets a chance.
Lyon bowls to him. Mitchell was on the move at the crease. He punches the ball past Lyon and gets the single to Hazelwood out long on. 3 for 115.
Good stroke, Mitchell. Those little singles are so important to keep rotating when there's left and right hand together. But not only that, it's seeing the length, getting back and punching it. Safe stroke.
Set up for the left-hander. This point is heavily guarded.
It's good spot, Gerard. They've tried to make an adjustment here to cut this back through the point area of Ravindra, his favourite shot.
Lyon bowls to him. Ravindra took it on, chopped it straight into the turf. It fell away to cover.
Here we go, lads.
It's great cat and mouse in those moments.
Yeah.
There's a backward point, a short point, and a deep cover point, as well as cover.
That was quite full, that.
And slip comes into play as well, doesn't it? When he's going to play the cut.
He's just so instinctive with this shot.
Ravindra back, lets it pass this time. You can almost see it tick over in his mind. 3 for 115, Kubota scoreboard, shaping Australia and New Zealand.
Harness Life, it's more than racing, like the Chivalry Championship where the lads race to help the lovely ladies at the bar. And they're off. Pretty Boy and Smooth Talker fly out, leaving Mr. Nice Guy well behind. Will he finish last again? It's neck and neck with Smooth Talker picking up the pace on the outside. Pretty Boy snatches the lead, but watch this. Mr. Nice Guy comes out of nowhere to steal the win. Be part of the action at the next race day. Details at harnesslife.nz.
SEN and SENZ Test Cricket for Resine quality paints and colours, perfect for your summer projects. Your correspondence this Sunday in Australia, 1373. Oh no, that's our talkback. 0433 98 11 16, and in New Zealand 8833. To play along direct to the box where we have both screens on the go. Stark begins his fresh over. He bowls to Mitchell, who's back and cutting for 4. Beautifully through backward point, stood tall on it and set it on its way. First boundary of the day for a Zito. Do it with a Zito, do you.
Nice shot, very nice shot. On top of it, no real risk involved at all. He held the pose just momentarily because he knew he got a rare opportunity here. He went under it. He went underneath it deliberately, but when you do that, it's almost as safe as hitting over the top of it, because if you get any sort of timing, it's going to fly, and it's going to fly safely.
Mitchell is 19. 3 for 119. Stark on the follow-up bowls, and Mitchell is forward defending. Stark knocks it down in his follow-through. Today's also the Newtown Festival, I was told. So up Adelaide Road, there's a big street festival. So this will be a busy precinct. in the mid-afternoon and evening.
Newtown Festival.
Never heard of it. Sorry.
No. Newtown Zoo. Newtown Park for the McHardy Shield next week.
Yep.
Just thinking of other things that happen in
That's
Newtown.
still the schools. Those are schools, aren't they? McHardy Shield?
Hospital, of course. Haven't seen a helicopter come in or out this morning.
No.
It's just good.
Mitchell sways as he gets ready and he's defending the ball to the offside.
And I've also noticed too, Jeremy, I don't think I've seen so many ambulances or police cars or so many sirens, or we just get used to it up here, or...
Yeah, I think we do. The siren, it's a very common kind of accompaniment. It's almost musical. It's not great music, I'd have to say, but, going round the roundabout. They talk about this as the largest roundabout in the world, don't they? Going up Adelaide Road to the hospital. Police, of course, the same.
Stark strides in, bowls. Mitchell tucks him around the corner. Out past the square leg umpire. Hazelwood gets motor in from fine leg. He reaches it as they complete two. They have a look and they'll settle for two. 3 for 121.
Really nicely controlled shot there, because they do have Mitchell Marsh in a deepish leg gully here, and they've got Travis Head just in front of square, so got to be a little bit careful when you take that shot on, but it was beautifully controlled. Two great shots in this over from Mitchell.
Yep, those from shorter balls, just slightly wide of the off stump and then slightly too straight.
Stark with 1 to go in the over. Mitchell has progressed to 21 with the 6 runs from it thus far. And Mitchell is prepared to see off the last ball of it. 3 for 121, the Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia. No wonder goes. The scoreboard just tricked me there. I do love how the roundabout goes all the way around the ground. As you can say, that Wellington revolves around its cricket ground.
Well, it is. It's a nice little play on words.
Yes.
But don't they also in Trinidad have a Savannah, which is a massive roundabout?
Oh, yes.
And sometimes they claim that as the biggest roundabout, because there's a lot of cricket and sport plays in
Just
the middle of it.
Yeah. Just outside the ground, isn't it?
Savannah, I think they call it, yeah.
Now this is the last ball of the over, and Mitchell is forward and defending. 3 for 121, the Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia.
We hope you're enjoying the cricket on SENZ. There's plenty more sport where that came from, like SENZ Breakfast. Start your day right with the very latest breaking news in the world of sport with Israel Dang and Ricardo Ball.
Do you want to give us the news, mate? Will Jordan, Crusaders All Blacks fullback, is going to be out for 2024. It's going to be fireworks, Rick Dog. I'm absolutely pumped for this series against the Australians.
Join us every weekday from 6 a.m. SENZ Breakfast with Izzy and Ricardo.
SEN and SENZ Test cricket for Rosina. The paint professionals use. The first 22 minutes well handled by New Zealand. They have progressed to 3 for 121. It's baby steps, and the first half hour is a big part of it. Bharat, Sundaresan, welcome in.
Good morning, Jared, Smithy, and New Zealand will say just a small little win. Nathan Lyons out of the attack. I was wondering if the wind had a big role to play in him trying this end out, but he's given it 2 overs. Looked pretty toothless, to be honest, and he's off, and Pat Cummins is bringing himself on.
So the bowling figures are stark. 9 overs, 3 maidens, none for 29, and Hazelwood 7 overs, 2 maidens, none for 17. Cummins yesterday 8 overs, 1 maiden, none for 25, and Lyons up to 18 overs, 7 maidens, 2 for 30. Cummins to Ravindra. Nudges the ball to the offside. He goes for the sharp single. Labuschagne fields a cover, throws, misses. Mitchell makes his grounds. Lively single. Had everybody on their toes.
I know people in this country love their sense of adventure, bungee jumping and everything else, but hitting the ball straight to Manas and running is right up there amongst the riskiest things you could do on a cricket field.
Oh, Mitchell would have... Oh, gee, if he'd hit... that's got a short future. I agree with you, Bharat.
And now they're having a little chat about that in the future, because that would have been out. The direct hit would have been out, and that is quite simply needless.
Thumbs up from Ravindra, but Mitchell go, no, come here, young fella, let's just have a little chat about that. The Bunnings trade replay screen.
For Ravindra, it looked like Pat Cummins was going to slip in a couple of bouncers, just the field he had. Slightly different for Mitchell.
The leg gully set. Cummins over the wicket to him, and he leaves outside the off stump.
He did survive a really difficult spell from Cummins early on in his innings yesterday, Gerard. Dal Mitchell, he was like a cat on a hot tin roof when he walked out to bat, and Cummins really had the ball on a string. And those are the kind of spells you have to survive against bowlers like Pat Cummins, don't you?
There are those bowlers that toil away and get very little reward, and there are those that strike almost every time they have a spell. Pat Cummins is in the latter group. He's a dangerous, dangerous character.
He hits the crease and he bowls to Mitchell, who punches him on the back foot out through cover. Head sets off in pursuit. Labuschagne as well. It races towards the rope. Head gets there with half a step to spare. Labuschagne went shotgun, heaves it in. They take 3. Mitchell is 24. He's got things ticking along. 3 for 125.
It's as good a shot as I think I've seen in this test match. He can go for 4, but my goodness, that was beautifully executed.
Yeah, he spoke a lot about romance this morning, Gerard, and building up today's play. I don't think we can say the first date has gone to plan so far, but at least the first few exchanges between parties seem to be on track.
I think it's just, if New Zealand can make Australia start to wonder where the next wicket will come from, and is getting Lyon out of the attack from this end as a starting point, and perhaps he'll switch. Stark looked unthreatening. Cummins has that great knack of striking in his first couple of overs. Can they blunt that and just progress the days? If it's not going to bounce the way it has for Lyon, then everyone's going to have to wait for the new ball. And New Zealand might make hay. Ravindra, short arm jab on the pull shot down to fine leg. Swivels quickly all the way across the turf down to Stark. A single taken. He's 59.
And even though we spoke a lot about how it would have been great if a Tom Latham or a Kane Williamson had hung in there, but obviously it would have been. The thing with these two is if Australia can't get them out, they just are run-scoring batters. They'll find ways of scoring, as we've already seen this morning. So at some point, not anytime soon, Australia will have to start looking at the scorecard as well. So they won't just get bogged down and just, like Mitchell did briefly yesterday, not be able to score. They will move it along.
244 still required, so it's a long way in the distance. Mitchell is forward defending the ball to point, and a loud call of no.
And I saw both these batters just maybe 15 minutes before the start of play walk out to the middle, and they stood at either end and they were just shadow practicing. I've rarely seen two batters do that in tandem, especially the two overnight batters. And they have had a lot of success in white ball cricket together, haven't they, Smithy?
Yeah, they bat well together. They're a good combo. They just like each other's company out there. I think it's the easiest way to say it. Communicate well, normally.
Mitchell faces up to Cummins. He pushes the ball firmly to point again. There's no run to be had. 3 for 126 at the end of the over. Kubota scoreboard at shaping New Zealand and Australia.
It's tax time at Bunnings Trade. There's amazing value on our wide range of power tools, workwear and much more. Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 15%. Conditions apply. See website for details.
No time for dinner because the big game's on. Get your Macca's favourites delivered with McDelivery. Dinner sorted. And you won't miss a thing. That's a real win-win. McDelivery, delivering your Macca's favourites straight to your door. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Day 4, first session for Before You Dig Australia. Nathan Lyon didn't like the R.A. Vance stand end, so he has switched. He's gone back to the Adelaide Road end where he had delivered every ball prior to today in the test match. 3 for 126, Ravindra's 59 and Mitchell is 24. The victory target is 369. So Nathan Lyon gets to choose his ends, and regardless of what the wind is doing today, he's gone back to where he feels more comfortable.
Right, let's look at this offside field. Two slips for Lyon. I mean, it's always interesting to see first thing the next morning the tactics, because it's a result of the homework done overnight.
Yep.
Now they have got Travis Head about 20 metres from the bat, just behind point.
Will Ravindra continue to cut? He goes back, he does, into the turf. Around to his left goes Khawaja.
So Khawaja is on the left shoulder of Travis Head. You can imagine you're standing at point and looking at Ravindra, and Khawaja's going to swap with Cameron Green. Cameron Green is slightly more mobile and likely to be in the action a bit more. So they've basically cut off the cut shot, square or behind point. Basically cut it off.
Mass the troops, built the wall. Ravindra forward to defend.
They're trying to get him to hit in that gap on the Smithy so that expose the outside edge or bring it into play a lot more. He just like to force the ball through the offside.
Chal and Ravindra just have a little word between deliveries. Lines around the wicket, bowls, Ravindra back, cuts in the air and he's out. He spooned the catch straight to Green at points. He fell right through the trapdoor. And Lyon gets his man, Ravindra. Well, you have to learn your craft. That's a nasty lesson. He goes for 59, he tosses his head back, and there'll be an afternoon's lament in that for him. 4 for 126.
Very hard shot to play when you're falling away from the direction of the ball. It's a very hard shot to control. He feels as if he can do it. That's one of his collection areas. But when you get it wrong, and they've set a very obvious trap for you, it doesn't look too good. So Ravindra, a very handy 59, but in terms of the overall context of the game, from New Zealand's point of view, he's gone too early. And I think you just have to say he succumbed to a plan which was staring all of us in the face.
Yeah, they telegraphed it in there, Australia, and then he tried backing himself against Nathan Lyon yesterday as well, where he said, okay, whatever field you set, I'll still try to penetrate that offside field. But this one almost felt like it just held into the surface a little bit. You're right, he was not in a great position, which is why the ball went in the air and straight to that man, Cam Green, and it's taken Nathan Lyon 3 balls into swapping ends to get the wicket, but the plan was there. It wasn't the best of deliveries, but there you go. It's worked.
He's so on the move when he plays the shot, and he's off balance basically. He gets away with it quite often, but when it goes wrong, horribly wrong there, that's pretty awful. But the most galling part about it was they painted it couldn't have been any clearer on the canvas. It could not have been any clearer on the canvas how they were trying to get him out, and it worked. It was like, wow. I'm always a bit nonplussed about the whole thing. It was that soft.
Yeah, he's a player of great promise, but that's a really unflattering moment. Tom Blundell, the new man in for Australia. A Macca's I'm loving it moment. More cricket, less cooking, brought to you by McDelivery. Lyon bowls to Blundell, who leans and defends to short leg.
He's a good player, Tom Blundell, and he's a fighter as well. He'll play his shots, but he's under the pump here because Lyon now has tasted success, and a hungry Gary Lyon, as they call him, is a tough man to overcome.
He's got 3 to add to his first innings for Blundell, forward and defending. So last time they were here 8 years ago, he took 7 in that test match, and he's going to top that by a margin.
So Tom Blundell attacked Lyon in the first innings. Interesting to see if he goes that way.
Last ball of a successful over. Lyon delivers and Blundell pops it up to short leg. Is there an inside edge? There is. Blundell is walking. Lyon's got 2 in the over, and the bottom has fallen out of New Zealand right on the half-hour mark. Blundell goes for a duck. Lyon with his 4th. It's 5 for 126.
I was looking at Nathan Lyon. He didn't look that interested in this. He wasn't celebrating like the rest of them. But it must have been so painfully obvious to him that he didn't even have to worry about celebrating. Little fine one. It wasn't a huge deviation. But look at Lyon in the back. Oh, yes, he is. He's just looking around as if to say that's pretty obvious. And all of a sudden it was so casual that he thinks he's got things under control. And he has now. He's got 4 in this innings, Gerard. The disconsolate figure of Tom Blundell leaves without registering a number against the scorers. And all of a sudden New Zealand are deep in it. And it looks like the obvious might happen.
Travis Head with the easiest of catches. 5 for 126. The Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia as Colo's coming in.
Stay in the fence, she says. Stay in the fence and it would look so much better. But you have to admit, you're not sure where to start. Are you putting off your painting or staining project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask at your local Resine colour shop for all the help you need on the best stain, paint, prep and painting techniques so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resine.
Coverage here for Resine, the paint professionals use. Adam Collins jumping in, Bharat, Sundaresan, Ian Smith with me. When going through the history of the game, there are always reference points if you wish there to be. We saw last year New Zealand recover from a 226-run deficit on the first innings here to win. So we looked at that this morning. But you can also look at the World Test Championship final last year, Bharat, where India were 3 down, 280 to get. We wanted to believe overnight with Kohli and Rahane. It was exactly half an hour in when Scotty Boland came in and picked up 2 wickets in the over. And what's happened this morning? Half an hour in, Nathan Lyon's done exactly the same. Game busted open. Here comes Cummins bowling to Mitchell, who pulls the first delivery of the new over down towards the Don Neely scoreboard. A deep backwards square leg for 1. He's 25, 5 for 127 the score. A long way from the finish line, the target 369.
Yeah, it's a pity. The pragmatist always wins over the romantic in these kind of situations. And we were speaking about this off air last night, Adam, as a journalist. The night before these kind of days, you always tend to write that piece. Yeah, I mean, try to be as real or realistic as possible, but you always leave that glimmer of hope. What if New Zealand, or on that famous day, India get over the line? It rarely does happen.
Overnight makes you talk yourself into things. Phillips facing his first ball from Cummins, gets big on him, rides the bounce down to gully where Green does well. He always does well. No run. Diving away to his right. It's that time away. It's the beauty of Test cricket, isn't it, Smithy, that in the hours after play, you can go, well, if that were to happen and that were to sequence this way, then suddenly we've got an all-timer. But all it takes is a quick intervention from the fielding team and it changes everything.
Well, in this case, a mistake.
Yeah.
A mistake. And it wasn't like Australia had snuck up on him. It wasn't like, we're talking Ravindra here, it wasn't as if they'd sprung a surprise move. He must have known that this was coming.
In again is Cummins, shuffling forward Phillips down the leg side. For a moment, Carey's interested. Half an appeal, but nothing on it.
Blundell's dismissal is pretty typical early on. You look to get settled. You look to be able to perhaps work your way into an innings by being a little bit lucky around those catching areas, but Tom Blundell has been caught head bowled line both times in this Test match, so he'll have to work away at that kind of theory as well. But look, it's not a secret. It's not like there's anything surprising about Australia's methods here. It's just New Zealand have started to succumb to them.
2 slips to gully. Cummins bowls. Forward is Phillips off the mark with a prob out to White Schmidt off. 5 for 128. Phillips 1. Yes, the fact that there have been so many catches around the bat at leg slip or short leg. And when we rocked up on day one, typically as it is here, very grassy pitch, you think it's going to be all about seam. New Zealand didn't pick a specialist, air quotes, spinner, leaving Santner out for Cougar line, yet Nathan Lyon's got 8 wickets in the Test match. Phillips has 5, Head's got 1. Ravindra's got 1 as well.
When it seems, it spins. So said a great man.
Quite. Cummins away from us again, bowls here. Phillips, make that Mitchell, I should say, out to cover. Loud call of no.
And just back to that Ravindra dismissal, Smithy, as well as Rachin batted in this innings. I guess if you're a coaching staff, that's what you expect when you pick for Test cricket. But I guess they'll sit down with him and discuss the 2 dismissals when they both are very disappointing. Really giving your wicket away. Or never give your wicket away completely, but sort of not making Australia work for that wicket.
Added just 3 runs to his overnight tally, Ravindra. Out for 59. Cummins bowls and Mitchell sways out the way of a short ball. Hits the gloves of Carey hard. End of the over. New Zealand 5 for 128. Target 369. Phillips 1. Mitchell 25 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
This is the finals. Epic clashes where every shot, every decision, and every second counts.
Elliott, bang!
It's win or go home for the New Zealand Breakers as they travel to fight for their place against the Illawarra Hawks. It all tips off this Monday from 9:30pm.
Don't miss a minute of the action.
Three, and he makes the three-pointer.
Watch every moment live on Sky Sport.
Hungry Jacks NBL Finals. Every moment matters.
First session a day for Before You Dig Australia. So Nathan Lyon to continue from the Adelaide road end. So spun around. Cummins willing to be flexible this morning, Smithy. They had the new plan. They tried a couple of overs and then they went back to plan A, I suppose, and that worked.
Well, the whole plan revolves around what Lyon wants to do. Basically, the other guys are going to get wickets, but Lyon is the danger. He's the key man. So you keep Nathan Lyon happy in what he wants to do with his plans at whatever end, and the rest you fall into place. Doesn't always happen, particularly in Australian conditions as well.
Two catches on the leg side. Bowls round the wicket to Phillips. First ball, the over back, rides the bounce round the corner. Green does the work at backwards square, no run. Just two fielders on the offside.
But he's the boss. He's bossing this situation, so you do what the boss says or what the boss wants. So yes, you're right. It's a 7-2 onside field, and they have shut down Glenn Phillips's options here markedly.
Lyon in the short sleeve jumper, bowls wide of the crease to leg slip where Smith's jumping to his left. Did it carry? We're behind him here. I don't know whether it did, but it was close.
Well, he spent 14 minutes this morning. I timed him fielding in that position or practicing in that position. 14 minutes, Steve Smith, for that very opportunity if it carries, and it did not.
Did not.
But he got it successfully. He's there. And it will be no fluke. It won't be a fluke if he takes a catch in there because he works so hard. 14 minutes in one position.
Lyon bowls. Phillips goes back, and again, it could have ended up in the leg slip region had he made contact. It hit him in the box, I reckon, or maybe the back thigh pad spills down into the pitch. Smith was great last night talking about his catch at slip-off head, comparing himself to Julie the Cat Daphne from Mighty Ducks 2 with that stop in the penalty shootout that won the junior Goodwill games that, don't exist. Lyon bowls here round the wicket. Hits Phillips on the pad. It's given.
Keep walking.
He's not going to review. That's a Nathan Lyon fifer. 3 wickets in the space of a couple of overs. Phillips is walking back to consult Mitchell, but the moment the finger went up from Murray Erasmus with the appeal, Phillips knew his fate. He might review out of obligation at this stage of the test match, but back on the crease. Perfect from Lyon.
Third umpire to director. We have
he's reviewing because Daryl Mitchell called him back to do just that. He's happy to go, Mitch. Phillips, he knows he's out. He thinks he has been done neck and crop here, but he was called back by Mitchell on the basis that this is the last real specialist batting option here. Ooh. I don't think he's got a price.
No, it's hit him above the knee roll, but he's so deep in the crease. It's going to be 3 reds unless something dramatically odd is going on with the projection on height. DRS for IMAR Insurance. Tradies trust IMAR for insurance. Call 13-IMAR. The league before shout. How's that? Get amongst it with Tinny's Craft Beer. Available at Liquorland. Choose to drink wise. Waiting for the projection. Phillips is already walking off. So confirming here. Pitched in line with off stump. Hit in line with middle stump. And hitting middle stump 80% of the way up.
I'll go back to Murray on field.
Bit of an anticlimactic moment because we all know it was going to be given. Nathan Lyon, another 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. What a superb bowler he's been for Australia across more than a dozen years now. 5 for 30, 9 for the match, 4 still to come. New Zealand reeling at 6 for 128. Ian Smith.
The GOAT. The GOAT has done it again. And give him the conditions and give him the overs and give him the time and the runs in the bank. He'll deliver 99% of the time. He is so damn good at his craft, and he is weaving New Zealand into a really horrible web here. There's a possibility he could finish here with 7 wickets, maybe 8. And look, they don't seem to have a lot of idea. Out comes Scott Kugelheim, and we know what happened to him second ball. He took on Nathan Lyon and slogged it straight down deep mid-wicket's throat. Second ball, so we'll just see what his attitude here was. The attitude has to be to fight. It has to be, but fight means defence, and Lyon is very hard to defend against in this mood.
Baz, the 24th time in Test cricket, he's had the chance to raise the ball up to the dressing room. 24 fifers, and now 526 Test wickets against New Zealand, averaging 18, Smithy.
I think he's the greatest pure finger spinner Test cricket has ever seen.
Ever seen?
Muralidharan was more a
It was a long
spinner.
time, but
I know, but still I think the impact he's had around the world, not just in Australia or in the subcontinent, but the matches he's won for them now, pretty much in every country that Australia have gone to. I'm putting my hand up for that.
Takes his wickets at 29 away from home. Line, 2 left in the over. First ball here is pushed down the ground by Kugelheim. He's off the pair. Squeezed it down past the catching man. Kugelheim won, 6 for 129. 1 ball left in the 50th over.
And even before you jump on me, Smith, with R. Ashwin, because he uses his wrist and everything else, that's why I said a pure finger spinner.
Yeah.
He bowled the best. He always says, I've focused on bowling the best off break, my best delivery over and over again. I don't think any bowler in the history of the game has bowled his best delivery more often than he has. Success.
526 wickets, Test wickets. I remember when he got his 500 not that long ago.
Line bowls to finish, and Mitchell plays it respectfully under his eyes, knocking it into the pitch. Nathan Lyon, 3 wickets in 2 overs. He has 5 for 31. New Zealand 6 for 129. Kugelheim 1. Mitchell 25 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Harness life, it's more than racing, like the Chivalry Championship where the lads race to help the lovely ladies at the bar. And they're off. Pretty Boy and Smooth Talker fly out, leaving Mr. Nice Guy well behind. Will he finish last again? It's neck and neck with Smooth Talker picking up the pace on the outside. Pretty Boy snatches the lead, but watch this. Mr. Nice Guy comes out of nowhere to steal the win. Be part of the action at the next race day. Details at harnesslife.nz.
SEN Test cricket for Rosine, the paint professionals use, and Grant Elliott jumping in with us as well for in-place living specialist disability accommodation designed for you. Good morning, Grant. Not the circumstances upon which you wanted to join this morning with 3 wickets in a hurry.
Morning, listeners. Morning, Bharat. Morning, Adam. Last time I go and get a coffee round.
Cummins bowls, leaving alone outside the off-stump Kugelheim.
They're waiting in the queue there for a number of minutes. Just, can't watch the cricket behind the bars there, and I heard a cheer, and I said to someone in the crowd, in the queue, I was like, that's not a good cheer, that's Australians cheering, I think it's out. Had a look and saw Ravindra trudging off. So yep, Smithy said it before this test. He said in Hamilton, he said, when New Zealand were playing South Africa, he said first name on the sheet, Nathan Lyon.
Cummins bowls here, and inside part of the bat, Kugelheim past short leg, it goes out the square leg, no is the call. Nathan Lyon's bowling average is now 30.34 for those who are into these kind of things, and hasn't been as low as that since his 15th test match back in 2012. That's when it went above 30. Before it was 29 point something or another, and yes, it's been steadily declining since since the pandemic, since that India series. He was averaging up to 34, I think it was, during that fateful series for him, where it didn't quite click, and it's been hammering down in the last couple of years. What a bowler. Cummins in, delivers here to Kugelheim on 1, who drops the hands beneath the ball.
That fateful evening in Karachi, Adam, when he failed to bowl Australia to victory. Never forget it. We were sat right above, and you know all about Pakistan, Grant, so I don't need to tell you. The media
second home.
Yeah, exactly. It's right over. They're still dropping bats and mics and everything else is there for you. We were sat right over the dressing room, and he was so filthy with himself that Pakistan had drawn that test. Unfortunately for him, he had to still face up. He was given the Bowler of the Match award, or one of those many awards you get in the subcontinent.
Cummins away from us, the only player without a jumper on. Delivers here, and it's a bumper. It's a sharp one, and Kugelheim ducks and kind of closes his eyes and hopes it doesn't hit him in the lid, and it just misses through to the gloves of caring.
And you could see him. He collected it, smiled for the camera as much as he could, turned around and pretty angry, just chucked it away, and he was not happy with himself. He felt like he'd let Australia down.
Yeah. He actually kicked it, remember? He drop kicked it away, the check that he was given, and went straight down the race beneath us. And
the Suzuki Hard Luck Well Tried Award. He didn't quite make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, if most 5-wicket hauls for Australia in tests, Shane Warne 37, Glenn McGrath 29, Nathan Lyon 24.
Cummins delivers, and he hits Kugelheim on the gloves. Had there been a leg gully, it would have been in play. Instead, he gets a single. Kugelheim 2, that's nasty from the captain, 6 for 130.
And while we're talking about Nathan Lyon, he just goes ahead of Bill Tiger O'Reilly in 1946. So this is the best match bowling figures by a spinner at Basin Reserve. Neuralitherans at the top with 10 for 118 in 2006. Vittori 10 for 183 in 2006 as well. Same game.
So two ahead of him here. He'll pass. He'll overtake both, given the lack of runs off him so far, with one more wicket. And that O'Reilly test is 1946, the first that New Zealand played against Australia in this country.
Yeah, because one of our listeners has said Lyon is good, but not quite as good as we're making him look. But the figures would suggest otherwise.
Cummins bowls, and Mitchell in behind it defensively. Complete the over as well. Cummins wicketless for once, none for 33 for him. 6 for 130 New Zealand. Kugelheim 2. Mitchell 25 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia. Oh, no ball. No ball called retrospectively. We haven't quite gone to the breakers yet, so we can. The amount of no balls. The amount of no balls that get bowled on the sixth delivery, and we miss it because we're in a break. I'm telling you, if you're a stato out there, work out how often it's the last ball of the over that they overstep, and the umpires call it upstairs. Nitin Menon, in this case, the third umpire.
I'm glad it doesn't have that siren sound, though.
Oh, yeah. Insufferable. Cummins to finish. Bouncer ducked for real this time. This is the end of the over at 6 for 131. Our coverage for Razine, the paint professionals use.
Save with PowerPass this tax time at Bunnings Trade. PowerPass members have saved thousands of hours skipping the registers using self-checkout on the PowerPass app. And they've saved more money on a huge range of products with exclusive PowerPass pricing. Apply for PowerPass today at Bunnings Trade.
Find your next winner with loveracing.nz, your Group 1 destination for racing news, previews, replays, fields, form, tips, and much more. Get amongst the action at loveracing.nz, your home of thoroughbred racing.
New Zealand started the day at 3 for 111. They're 6 for 131. 3 wickets for Nathan Lyon in the space of 2 overs from the Adelaide Road end, which is the end from which he will continue at Kugelheim on 2. Bowling here with 2 catching men on the leg side, and it spits up off the inside edge into the pad, into the turf. Elliott.
Bharat's got some fans here in New Zealand. Chris has just texted in. He said, I've heard of Bharat, but I saw Bharat for the first time today. Wow. He really is the psychedelic Swami of cricket.
Yeah, it's a thing that follows me around. Everyone who sees me wants to get high on something.
Timeless tweet, that. 2 on the offside. Line bowls here, and swinging across the line goes Kugelheim, a deep backward square along the ground, though. 4 runs. Really good contact. Just for a moment, Green was looking up, not down. He thought for the second time in the test that Kugelheim might have holed out, but nope, he's up to 6 for 135.
He was angry, Cam Green. Rarely do you see him react angrily. He just missed it once and then twice. And I think Usman Khawaja was asking him to chase it. You can see him still gesticulating pretty animatedly to his senior partner.
I think that's one of those things. He's like, mate, what are you doing? And he's like, I didn't see it. He's like, how can you not see it, mate? Put in more effort.
Boundaries for Azito. Do it with Azito to you. Line goes again. Not many of them so far this morning. Bowls here and across the line again. Kugelheim hitting with the spin. Same result. Across the grass at deep backward square. Well played. 2 boundaries in a row. He's 10 from 9, 6 for 139.
I think the no ball was the turning point in this test match. The tide has turned, fellas. Kugelheim's having a dip. Oh, it was a nice shot from Kugelheim. He's actually getting inside the line, and he's hitting it. Green was in front of square, and now they've placed a man. I'm trying to see who that is. I think it's Labuschagne, maybe. Backward of square. So that takes that stroke out now for Kugelheim. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it.
Playing out of the footmarks from that side of the wicket as well. Line bowls Kugelheim forward defensively. Got message in 0433 98 11 16. Murali is better than Line. I think the point that you were making, Brad, is that Murali, hard to categorise him, but more a wrist spinner than a finger spinner, the way he let the ball go.
Yeah. I see Nathan Lyon, pure finger spinner. Even Ashwin has used so many other parts of his wrist and his hand.
Line 5 for 39. 3 out on the leg side. Kugelheim again gets forward to defend. No run.
Bharat, the psychedelic Swami thing, I just want to describe it. It's almost like a unicorn has made love to a bottle of glitter. And this is the result of your outfit today. It is very colourful. I've been impressed. I've been impressed with the colour you've brought.
One for the Tinder bio. Line bowls here and forward defending is Kugelheim, the short leg. It'll complete Lions over. For once, it doesn't get a wicket. 6 for 139 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia. Their target is 369.
Stay with SENZ after the cricket. There's a world of sport waiting for you. Start your day with SENZ Breakfast with Israel Dag and Ricardo Ball from 6 a.m. weekdays.
There's just always things going on, there's laser lights.
Then the doyen of New Zealand sports broadcasting, Ian Smith from 9 a.m.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Mark Stafford's on standby to take your calls and more from 12 till 3 before the run home with Kirsten Beeve. That's Stephen Donald to you from 3 p.m.
A must.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for cricket, but so much more as well. It's Kiwi for sport.
First session for Before You Dig, lodge a free inquiry online. We've got news from Cricket New Zealand that William O'Rourke will bat. So Big Billy will turn out at number 11, although on the evidence of what we've seen in his first-class career, it may not mean an awful lot. Cummins away again from the RA bandstand. Delivers here to Mitchell, who's been there all morning, into the onside no run. 98 deliveries for 25 for the Dazzler, Bharat.
Yeah, he's looked solid. He's looked much better than he did yesterday. Darryl Mitchell got those 2 early boundaries away, and at that point he thought, okay, he could get on top of it.
Can I just throw something in there? I mentioned O'Rourke before. Let's just assume that he's not fit for next week for the sake of the hypothetical. We've been talking to Neil Wagner a bit over the boundary this week.
I know where this is going.
Well, my only question to him last night was, what are you up to next week, Neil?
Yeah.
Do you want to play some cricket, Christchurch? I don't think it's crazy.
Vittori came back from retirement, played in Dubai.
Cummins bowls, Mitchell defence. It's not a bad topic for the text. 0433 98 11 16 in Australia, 8833 in New Zealand. Players who have come out of retirement. There's plenty in footy, but there are a few in cricket as well. And I would have thought that if they want to go with 4 seamers and keep Phillips and Ravindra as the spin options there, if O'Rourke is out, and if they decide to overlook Kugelheim, who hasn't had a great test match, although he's batting right now and going okay, wouldn't Wagner surely be someone who could be ready to roll? It's not as though he's not been bowling. He's been here all week. Cummins up, delivers here. Mitchell pulls down to deep backward square in front of the scoreboard, gets 1. 26 for him from his 100th delivery, 6 for 140 the score.
Well, even if it's just, because the other player that we're talking about here is probably Satner. You do bring Satner in. But if they were happy with the balance, then it would be a straight swap. Let's say O'Rourke for Wagner or who else. One thing I would have done, I would love to speak to a psychologist about this. When you sit Wagner down and you go, mate, this is your last test. I want you to empty the tank against Australia. I really want you to empty it. Give it everything you've got. Go out on a high. How would he have performed in this test match? Just given the personality that he is, I think that you would have seen something extra from him.
Cummins into Kugelheim. Got a short leg and a leg gully. Takes on the short ball. Gets it square. Gets 4 more. So his third boundary now. 2 against line in that direction. And now taking on Cummins' bouncer. Well played. He's 14 now. Boundaries are for Azito. Do it with Azito, do you? It's 6 for 144.
And you're talking about someone who did that anyway, right? Regardless, throughout his career for 12 years, all he did was empty his tank. And I did notice something about him in the nets. Historically, when he was playing Test cricket, he would only bowl 1 bouncer in the nets. The other day, he was firing it up. He was trying to bounce everyone out. Williamson, Tom Latham, this is my farewell.
Farewell net. They're like, I don't want to face Waggy. Metre over at the bowling crease as well.
Cummins to Kugelheim. He's 14 from 13. Counter-attacking, and here he's playing from the outside part of the bat to point no run. Remember when there was a New Zealand cricketer who said they'd make their final appearance at Christchurch 8 years ago? A chap called Brendan McCullum made a 54-ball 100. He left it all out there, as you were describing.
Well, I think no one's got the right to finish their career, the way they want to. I think that stumps can be pulled on you at any time, and I don't think any player should feel like they're entitled to have a send-off test, for example. I think, when the selectors decide it's over, it's over. And it would have been nice, though, to see Wagner being given that opportunity, I think.
So Cummins to finish the over. Bowls here to Kugelheim. Leg gully's gone. Out to cover. Quickie single takes on Labuschagne, gets through. Never an easy thing taking on the Queenslander, who's so good throwing the stumps down. Over complete. Kugelheim keeps the strike. He's 15 from 15. Mitchell 26. New Zealand 6 for 145 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Every day, right across this great country, Kennards Hire help loads of customers and their customers enjoy the feeling of a job made easy. Like Cameron, who used a Kennards Hire mini loader to turn a simple dirt patch into the ultimate backyard sandpit for his sweet little triplets. Love it, girls? So, whether you've got a big job or an even bigger job, get that Ken-Oath feeling.
Kennards make your job easy.
Here with Rosine, the paint professionals use. A lot of New Zealand fans would have woken up this morning saying, I want to believe. The old fox mould up well. And that belief is largely dashed due to the Nathan Lyon intervention. Here he goes again to Cougar Line. He's taking him on. 2 out on the leg side, 2 catching in close. Back past the bowler and he's follow through to long on for a single. Cougar Line 16, 6 for 145. We've got a few texts coming through. Jabagal Srinath came out of retirement, played a 2003 World Cup. Of course, Shahid Afridi came out of retirement multiple times, may do again.
80 times.
Joined us on SEN Cricket at the MCG, didn't he, Baz?
He did.
This year during the Pakistan Test.
Fire.
Ben Stokes before the One-Day World Cup this year. That didn't go so well. Lion bowls here. Sweeping is Mitchell. The balloons off the pad. Doesn't go anywhere.
Just going back to our little chat with Neil Wagner, he didn't say no. He just laughed it off. But more importantly, Grant, he said he was voting for me, not the 8-year-old fox. So in his book, I won the dress-up thing yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Line bowls to Mitchell, playing conservatively. It's a leg slip, sticking out his boot rather than his goalkeeper glove, as we were saying earlier. Well, Steve Smith or Julia the Cat Daphne can't stop it. They get a leg by, 6 for 147.
Well, given that conversation, we now know we can't trust anything Neil Wagner says is the truth. The Fox he had much better moves than you, the Fox.
He was 8 years old. If I did some of the things he did, I would not be able to get back up.
You got complacent. You thought, I can just turn up and just be Bharat and I'll win this hands down. You even tested yourself by saying, I'm Australian. And then you lost the crowd totally from the start.
Especially because you're playing Jai Ho, the Indian song for me.
That did feel a little bit
borderline.
Line in round the wicket. Forward again goes Cougar Line. Wants one to point where there's a huge gap. Only 2 fielders on the offside. They're happy to concede the single there. He's 17. 6 for 148. Reminder that target's 369 for what it's worth.
I did speak to Willie Nichols, New Zealand media manager, wonderful media manager. And one of the judges yesterday is like, hey, look, Bharat, obviously I couldn't have voted for you, but thanks for coming.
Should have been online voting, would have been fairer.
Line to Mitchell, who defends as well, just round the corner. I wonder at what point Mitchell might decide to go up a gear or two. He's 26 from 102 deliveries, and we know, Grant, that he has the ability to score at a really quick tempo.
Yeah, he likes to use his feet to the spinners and hit them over their head. That's the one way he likes, and he likes to play the reverse sweep, so that can unsettle spinners. But because of the bounce, it's a dangerous stroke on this wicket.
3 back on the rope on the onside line to finish. Mitchell sweeps, gets it out to the finest of the sweepers at deep backward square. 6 for 149 the score. Drinks coming out onto the field. Our open country drinks break, delivering you a summer of New Zealand's best cricket with the Black Caps. 3 wickets this morning, all in the space of a couple of overs for New Zealand, which means that from 3 for 111, they've advanced to 6 for 149 in the first hour of play. We'll go to a break. On the other side of it, Gerard Whateley replacing me. Our coverage for Rosine, the paint professionals use.
Get so much more with the great garage store from Garage Auckland. 10 years warranty, real security. Garage Auckland. Quality, real durability. Servicing you since 62. Get so much more with the great garage door from Garage Auckland.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you this tax time with 134 Trade. Call 0800 134 872 for on-the-spot product inquiries, fast quoting and on-site delivery. Tax time sorted. Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
Busy making a crease in the sofa as you watch batsmen at the crease? Well, you won't want to risk leaving the couch because you might miss this ball, the next ball, or the delivery after that. Best get your dinner delivered instead. Macca's, we deliver.
The Grand Tour Racing Festival is bigger, brighter, bolder and louder than ever. LoveRacing.nz together with TAB brings you New Zealand's top 20 thoroughbred racing events, celebrating all the action and entertainment both on and off the track at the biggest and best race days across the country, featuring headline acts Sir Dave Dobbin, Peking Duck, the Black Seeds, Zed and more. Eat, drink and get racy at New Zealand's ultimate thoroughbred racing festival. It's one hot ticket. Book today at thegrandtour.nz.
This is fresh over. He bowls to Mitchell, who's back and cutting for 4. Beautifully through backward point. Stood tall on it. Lines around the wicket. Bowls. Ravindra back. Cuts in the air and he's out. He spooned the catch straight to green at points. He fell right through the trapdoor. Delivers. Blundell pops it up to short leg. Is there an inside edge? There is. Blundell is walking. Lions got 2 in the over.
Line bowls here round the wicket. Hits Phillips on the pad. It's given.
Keep walking.
That's a Nathan Lyon. Pfeiffer. 3 wickets in the space of a couple of overs.
The drinks break for Open Country. If today was about hope, then hope disappeared when Nathan Lyon switched ends to the Adelaide Road end of Basin Reserve and took 3 wickets in a cluster. And Jeremy Coney, that was about what you doomsday at the start, that 1 wicket might become 3, and there ended the challenge.
I think we should stop that practice, actually. But nevertheless, yes, it is. Ravindra was sort of suckered out in a way, and the only area he could find that he could play with some safety for a while to get runs off Nathan Lyon, wasn't it? There was, unless he really dragged the ball down exceedingly short and he could actually have time to hit it more sort of to cover an extra cover. It was all square other than that, and he was falling away quite often because Nathan Lyon was pitching the ball more on the stumps today. I think that's what he wanted to do, and so he was having to fall further to the leg side at the same time, and you're off balance when you're doing that, and that's what occurred. Actually, he looked back at the pitch as if it did something strange, but nevertheless he was caught by one of about 6 men who were placed for that shot, so it looked worse than it really was, but nevertheless it was a bad dismissal for him. Blundell caught bat pad. 1 became 3, didn't it? Because Blundell was caught bat pad, and it was very difficult to play around your pad through those men in close with the turn and the bounce there is. And then Phillips also LBW. He did try and play back, but he got too square. He needed to stay more leg side of the ball to make sure he could hit it. So he was gone as well, LBW. So now Cam Green.
Yes, so Cam Green, his first bowl in the test match. Mitchell is on 27 and he tucks the ball off his pads for a gentle single, but down the backward square. So the 150 comes up for New Zealand in the 55th over, but for the loss of 6 wickets. Mitchell's 28 and Kugelheim is 17. I wonder, does Cam Green need a wicket or 2 to protect his player of the match status? He's the leading run scorer by a big space. Magnus Benbow get the leading brands like Bosch. But what if Lyon took 9 in
Yes, 7 or 8 or 9.
No, I think there's
you give
one.
it to batsmen. Batting has been more tricky. There's only been
I
one.
think so. There's only 6 players that got over 40 in this game. So, yeah, absolutely.
Green bowls to Kugelheim, edges short of Marsh in the gully. He tumbles away to his right to field.
But bowlers always feel hard done by in that award. They always think, it always goes to a batter. But I think, when you look at that scoreboard, if you were to take away Cam Green's score of 174, I think that the game is almost, this would be a different story today.
If you were selecting Man of the Match award and one bowler got 9 wickets in an innings, the bowlers' union would strangle you as you left the Basin Reserve, or you attempted to. Simple as that.
Green bowls to Kugelheim, who leaves. I think this is a very live proposition that you make a compelling case, but if Lyon keeps racking them up.
Okay. If he gets past 7, I think then we start talking. That's when you open it up to a WhatsApp group, and you just try and get the general consensus.
Well,
I mean, if you're in Australia, it's easy. You always just, irrespective of winning or losing, you always go for an Australian as player of the match.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Look, he's trying to be controversial. Stir you into action, Gerard.
Green to Kugelheim, ducks the bouncer.
We were talking earlier about players that have retired and then come back, because there was the chat about Wagner.
It's not a retire then, is it?
No, well, you come back from retirement.
Retire, you go away from the game, frankly.
Someone did mention, they said Warne, but Vittori retired and came back and played in Dubai.
Right.
Yep. And we were mentioning players. I think they mentioned Shahid Afridi a number of times. Retired and came back.
Green is in from the broadcast end in front of the Vance stand. He bowls to Kugelheim, who plays him away to the leg side. Rolls to square. Head has to trot from mid-wicket, and they'll be able to take 2. 6 for 152.
If you retire, why would you want someone around the team and the game if you've decided to say, I don't want any more of this? I do not want to be part of this anymore. I'm going to retire and move out and get away.
I don't think Wagner decided to retire because his career was pulled on him. Not, I'm done. So he wasn't selected.
Hang on, retire. He's made the decision to retire.
Yeah.
Last ball of Green's over to Kugelheim. He pushes away, head moved square and cuts it off. We'll pick up, this has got a little spice to it. 6 for 152. Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Sports fans rejoice. The voice of sport in New Zealand has his own show.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant performance.
That's right. You can catch Ian Smith every weekday on SENZ from 9 a.m.
For God's sake, how many hints do you want? That's right.
Cricket, rugby, even rugby league. You better believe he's on the WAS train.
Tune in, all right. We'll be tuning in. Look, Kevin.
Mornings with Ian Smith. 9 till 12, weekday mornings on SENZ.
SEN Test Cricket for Resina, quality paint and colours, perfect for your summer projects. Jeremy Coney and Grant Elliott just on the bubble here for in-place living, specialist disability accommodation designed for you. Nathan Lyon, already with 5 for 42. He's bowling to Daryl Mitchell, who's on 28, and Mitchell is forward and defending. So the circumstances do play a role here. The selectors said to Wagner, we're not picking you.
Yeah.
And Wagner said,
well, then why'd they pick him?
Then I'm finished.
That's my question then why do you select him?
Yes.
If you're not playing him. That's a stupid idea, isn't it? Let's waste a place in the 15 or 14 we're picking.
Mitchell is down to sweep, straight to Smith. It didn't reach him.
No, but he would have been selected in the squad as a way of saying, hey, we want you involved. Thank you. Yeah. It's not like we're going to play you.
Come on.
But that's obviously wise.
Lovely to get a position in the New Zealand side. Why do they thank me? I wouldn't mind going down and not being played. They're not going to select you, Jeremy, but you're in the team to go to England. Terrific. I'd love it. Take it every time.
Mitchell around the corner past Smith, this time down to fine leg for a single. That previous ball just half volleyed into Smith's hand. He was on the dive and on the move early, the Bunnings trade replay screen.
He won't go to Christchurch, obviously. But I would say that he was...
Well, hang on. You're just saying a moment ago he should go.
No, I'm saying,
out of retirement.
I'm saying...
And come back for Christchurch.
What I'm saying
doesn't play.
O'Rourke doesn't play.
We drop Kugelheim.
Who would you play?
Who are we going to bring? Let's bring Waggers back.
Well,
but he's retired.
Would there be a sentiment to that
argument? There's a sentiment. That's all you're arguing. That's your basis of your argument. It's sympathy and sentiment.
What if the selectors go, we were wrong?
What?
We made the wrong decision, Neil, is we should have actually played you, and now we realise the error of our way.
Because we didn't realise that Jameson would be injured and O'Rourke would be injured.
Get rid of the selectors.
Kugelheim edges past Smith that slipped down to third. That's a popular sentiment in a lot of countries. It'll be fielded just in from the rope as they take 2. It's 6 for 155.
Players have come back from retirement.
Don't forget, by the way, while we're talking about Lyon and 5 wickets and 7 wickets, he was the top scorer in the second innings.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just mentioning. Just mentioning.
It was good.
So if Wagner hadn't retired, if he was just still an active member of the squad who hadn't been selected, would they pick him for the next test? Kugelheim is edge. Well, did he edge it or did it just fly past? It's got past everybody. It's going to run down under the sight screen for 4. No, it's byes. So no touch on the way through. That's how much Lyon is getting out of this at the moment. It's 6 for 159.
Yeah, we don't have many seamers in the stocks. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm alluding to, is that they'll look at it. They didn't think that Jamieson would get injured, and O'Rourke, potentially. We don't know how serious that is. When you're 2 seamers down, suddenly you've had someone who's just retired.
Lions, the last ball of the over. Cougar Lions on the move. He's popped it up safely. It's going to land at mid-on. Long on is back. So it's the long trot in to do the fielding from Stark. A single off the last ball of the over. 6 for 160 Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
PGG Wrights and Turf has been breeding turfgrass seeds suitable for New Zealand racecourses for over 40 years. They focus on the delivery of high-performance turfgrass solutions. From seed and turf maintenance products to nutrition plans and agronomic advice, their driven team is equipped with the technical knowledge and market-leading products to help you achieve the best possible solution. To find out more about how they can help with your racecourse turfgrass requirements, visit pggwrightsandturf.com.
Australia is running hot for Reams, 6 for 160 and probing away. Cougar Line is 22 from 25 balls. Mitchell's 29 from 108. He has seen the departure lounge at the other end. Ravindra for 59. Blundell for naught. Phillips for 1. Lyon got the lot. 6 for 160. Cam Green. His right arm over the wicket, bowling full onto the pads, and Cougar Line flicks him away crisply. Lovely timing to the museum boundary, and it reaches now. 4 from the bat of Cougar Line for Azito. Do it with Azito, do you. He's 26.
Fair effort from Cam Green, actually. It swung back in towards the right-handed Cougar Line, and it was moving quite nicely, actually, towards that leg stump. But it was just slightly overpitched, and Cougar Line's played a nice stroke there. He looks as at the other end, however, as if he can't trust his defence at all, and so he's playing sweeps and pulls and pushes and just hanging on.
Cougar Line back trying to cut, was too close to him. Carey fumbles, it rolls away to gully, no run.
And he looks like he's into sort of a shot a ball mode in a way.
Yeah, he's not much of a touch player, Cougar Line. He goes hard at the ball, plays pull shots, tends to hit the ball airborne. But this is the way he scored 100 against Australia. He does it as quicker than a runner ball. It's the way he likes to bat.
Yeah. 85 balls, he got that 100 in.
Takes the attack on.
Just a momentary delay. Daryl Mitchell adjusting his gear at the non-striker's ends. Green cleared for the runway. And he bowls to Cougar Line, who's popped that up down the leg side to Carey, and he's out. Good angle, good pace from Green. Drew the error, and that ballooned into the gloves of Alex Carey. The 7th wicket falls. Cougar Line's sprightly innings closes at 26. It's 7 for 164.
Well, it was back of a length. It was waist height. Cameron Green, he dug it in, the tall Cameron Green. This one spat off the length, nipped in a touch. And Cougar Line, who was restricted with his bat swing, just threw his hands at it. Unfortunately, got a glove to it. He goes, caught by Carey. Brisk 26. Another New Zealand batter gone. And it's the 7th one. New Zealand now 164 for 7. And Australia on a roll.
Cam Green just doing his bits, keeping himself prominent. Don't forget about me.
Bit of bounce, and Cougar Line, it wasn't going to be a lengthy occupation for him, really. He was hopeful that he was going to score some runs while he was there. He played aggressively. He had to, because he didn't feel, particularly against Lyon, that it was easy, and he didn't have a game that could cope with those men in close on the leg side with any safety over a long period of time. And so he played aggressively, got a few away, got himself to 26 or 28, whatever it was. It wasn't going to really make a statement about the match itself as a whole. So yeah, he's got a little glove on that as he pushes away from himself, and the bounce undid him, really.
He's an aggressive player, and you know, it's nice when you can rotate the strike and get those sort of players. They always feel like they've got a bit of momentum, but eventually on this sort of pitch you have to have a game plan that can cope with that bounce and that seam.
Green to Henry, the new man in. It's outside the off stump and allowed to pass. So we've had 4 in the session for Before You Dig. Lodge a free inquiry online. There's still, what are we, 43 minutes left in the session, and if it was 9 down, an extra half hour could be added. So very possible this is over
by lunch. Yes, 'tis. Henry Southey O'Rourke. Will O'Rourke bat? Yes, I think he will.
Yeah, they said he would bat.
Yeah, but he was well strapped up, apparently. Someone was saying to me.
Looked like his left limb, upper limb.
Green in, bowls bouncer right over the top of Henry. Wide, too far over the top. 7 for 165. Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia, so still a couple to go in the over.
Do you think Pat Cummins has given Green the ball just because of your discussion, Gerard, of man of the match? They thought, listen, this is getting close. Greenie, you've got to have a...
I think Green's gone, well, what about me? Let's let the two players who have shaped the test match finish the test match. Green and Lyon.
I like it.
And go head to head.
Yeah.
Green bowls. Henry just edged to back away and then plays it out to point.
It's a nice little message as captain. Here's the ball, Greenie. Just remember, player of the match is up for grabs. It's not as comfortable. Not as comfortable as you thought it was after your 174.
Keep them hungry, keep them mean, treat them mean, keep them keen.
Yeah.
As Australia haven't had to use Marsh and Green terribly much in this test match. Once it revealed itself as the spinner's pitch head chimed in yesterday. It took a few of those overs. Green bowls. Henry stands upright, defends the rising delivery up off the stickers. 7 for 165 at the end of the over. SEN and SENZ Test cricket is for Razine.
That gloomy second bedroom. All it needs is brightening up. So how do you get started? Do you need to seal the walls before you paint? Are you putting off your painting project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask the team at your local Razine colour shop for all the help you need on the best paints, prep and painting techniques for your project so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Razine.
SENZ Cricket is live on the SEN app and also on 7:11 a.m. right here in Wellington. It hasn't been the listening that you might have hoped for today. 7 for 165. Daryl Mitchell has been the constant, lying around the wicket to him, and Mitchell smothers the spin. So let's just play semantics, shall we, with the Wagner scenario? Because as one of the texts points out on 8833, it's a retirement at the end of the New Zealand-Australia series, which then had the addendum of we'll release him from the squad after Wellington. Well, what if they don't want to release him from the squad as Mitchell is back and defending? So let me just boil it down to this. Knowing what we know, would you like Wagner in the pace attack for the second test? Given that there's probably one change and likely two necessary changes to the seam attack.
You need experience against one of the best teams in the world.
Iron bowls. Mitchell is down to sweep, and he's done it well. There's a backward square in place, so it will only get him a single.
When I look around the country and you think about bowlers, there's Blair Tickner. I don't know fitness-wise how he's going. He's a contracted player. Nathan Smith just got 6 wickets for Wellington.
And has had several as well, and he can bat a bit as well.
Ajaz Patel just got 7 for second highest wicket taker for the Central Stags, got his 264th first-class wicket. So, you know, those are
spinners get none at Hagley.
Right. And those are players that you could throw into the mix. Jacob Duffy, Ben Lister. And when you look at those names, Ben Sears, bit of pace. But then when you look at that, no one's got experience. Wagner's got experience. So it's a discussion.
Lyon to Henry. He lets it pass, and it does pass a lot. They won't take a bye because no shot was off it. With a straight face, they can't pick Kugelheim again. Not if you're serious. You can't be playing him in the next test. And O'Rourke has got his hamstring so heavily bandaged.
If it's two down, that gets tough. And you know, I didn't know about that sounds weird. You've got him retiring, and you're saying, but it's not till another test.
Henry with Lyon around the wicket. Henry advances, blunts it back down the pitch. Not really offering, that's the little shout.
And he's in Wellington, but he goes home at the end of Wellington. I mean, it just sounds what a mishmash of spin. I think you're just describing.
Silliness,
it's
really.
the opportunity for a send-off, I think. That's what Wellington was.
Yes, to take a bow in front of the crowd. But what if he's needed to bowl? Henry's back around the corner.
But that's an argument saying, we're sorry we didn't pick you.
That's the end of the over. 7 for 166, the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Create your field of dreams by unlocking the full potential of your sports surface with Mixed Sports Turf. From schools to stadiums, Mixed Sports Turf provides personalised, top-quality solutions for the construction and maintenance of natural and hybrid turf for all sporting codes. From concept, pricing, design and maintenance to upgrades, experience the Mixed difference, where passion, expertise and commitment come together to exceed your expectations. Your turf, our priority. Visit them today at mixteds.co.nz. That's mexteds.co.nz.
SEN and SENZ Test cricket for Resine. Quality paint and colours, perfect for your summer project. 7 for 166. Henry's yet to score. Mitchell's on 30, and Cam Green is bowling at 1 for 8.
If the management, Gerard, have said, sorry, we're not picking you for the last 2 tests, so you've been a great servant, stick around, but we're not going to pick you. And on that basis, Wagner's made the decision to retire.
Yep.
And then they put something else to say, but it's only effective from the end of the series, which is another test.
Green bowls to Mitchell, short. Oh, that was nasty. It pops up. Kawaja goes back. He drops the ball. Now the question is, has he dropped the catch? They scramble through for a run. Yes, I reckon that's off the glove. It is. No, leg byes. Stand down, leg byes.
Yeah.
That was all very exciting for one scrambled leg by.
It looked initially that Daryl Mitchell had hit the glove because he was looking quite sheepish after the delivery, but after he went through, umpire asked him, "Did you glove that?" He said no.
And the helmet.
Leg byes,
you could see
signal.
Umpire Goff signalled, tapping his head, and his hat came off the helmet, and it does.
Yeah, that's scorned him, hasn't it? That got, and this is Green's threat. That just got bigger and bigger and bigger on him, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
a little bit of extra pace as well.
But just to finish the thing about Wagner, I know is what I've just described as a farce. Is a word used at the back of the box, and it is a farce. And they've got themselves in all sorts of difficulties, because unlikely things have happened. O'Rourke's gone out, Kugler hasn't played very particularly well and done that job, and so on. So, yeah, that's where we've got to with all that. I don't know whether they're going to select Wagner to go down there. Do we need another, to be fair, tired 125 to 126, however experienced he is? Surely they got him in Wellington, said what we need is a left armour to swing the ball back into the Aussies' pads. That's what we'd like you to do in the nets, Neil. Show us you can swing it back and then run one across the right-handers to bring an edge into play. If you can do that, you're in. And they didn't pick him because of that. That's what I would have asked him to do, not to bowl short, because he can't at 125 to 126 Ks. And that's the pace he's bowling, everybody. It's not sympathy, I'm not giving sympathy about it, it's the truth.
Green to Henry, edging past the stumps, past Carey, and down to the boundary for 4. He's not terribly committed, Henry, to get in behind it. 7 for 171, the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Giving himself a bit of room, isn't he? Against, he's not getting in behind. It's more leg side of the ball, got an inside edge.
Yeah, well, another lower order batter who got a 40 in this game, 42 in the first innings. Nathan Lyon, we saw his night watchman get 41. So Henry doesn't really generally like to get in line. He likes to swing from outside that high line.
Green's all over him. He bowls. Henry stands up and cuts. Furious shot through cover for 4. The moment that it left the blade. That's attractive. The Bunnings trade replay screen will prove that.
Yeah, he's more confident with the ball there on 6 stump away from the body. He can throw the hands at it. That's what he likes. And generally, he can hit that either through the leg side or offside, Henry. Plays his shots. Doesn't really trust that defence too much. That's a great shot. Cracking shot. Along the beautiful Cello Basin Reserve carpet.
Green sets in once more. Henry's on 8. He went down the leg side, striving for the Yorker.
It's an interesting question, though, isn't it? Do you go for tired experience, or do you... And I have the utmost respect for Wagner as a player and how hard he's worked and the method that he found to work with using the old ball, not a new ball, making it awkward and giving, we already had 2 swing bowlers, Bolt and we had Southey. Why have another swing bowler? Which he was, but he found a new way.
Green bowls, Henry jabs the ball out to point, no run.
Or do you go for more the future? Do you look forward to what might be around but is not quite ready yet? See, there's the issue. Yeah. We haven't got enough with our cricket community of someone and the plans and the preparations for succession. We have not had the people in place ready to go in case this sort of situation, was
double
uncovered.
Injury.
Absolutely.
Jameson and O'Rourke. Well, when you're looking at the top wicket takers, Nathan Smith's up there with Jacob Duffy. Right. So there are 2 names currently.
Last ball of the over. Henry jammed up almost in front of the stumps. Green is probing away. 7 for 175. Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia. Daniel McHardy's coming in.
The hallway with dated wallpaper. Yeah, some people might call it chic, but to you, it just looks tired. What's the easiest way to remove old wallpaper, though? Are you putting off your decorating project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask the team at your local Resine colour shop for all you need on the best wallpaper, prep and hanging techniques so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resine.
SENZ and SEN Test Cricket with Resine quality paint and colours, perfect for your summer projects. Nice to be in the box. Hello, Jerry. Good afternoon, Smithy. Everyone, fine form. Here's Nathan Lyon starting a new over from the Adelaide Road end to Mitchell. He turns him around the corner and there will be no run. New Zealand starting the day at 111 for the loss of 3 wickets. Unfortunately, they lost 3 wickets for just 2 runs. Rachin, Ravindra, Blundell and Phillips, the heart, that middle order. Mitchell is fighting hard. He pushes into the cover region. Could have had a single, turns it down. The target, of course, a long, long way away, 369. Nathan Lyon, 5 wickets, 5 for 47. Cam Green continuing to leave his fingerprints all over this game. Picking up Scott Cougalone. An absolute beauty as this one spins down the leg side. What's the general discussion, Jerry? You're feverishly writing notes.
I was just thinking about the test matches that we've had so far this season and who have been the fast bowlers and what sort of mixture of experience, how tired it is, and youth. So I've only got to the first innings and the first test, and that was Jameson and Southey and Henry, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was Santner
and then
picked.
Yeah, but then the second, I'm just thinking of the seamers at the moment.
Back over the wickets. Coming down, hitting powerfully straight. And will it clear the rope? No. Bounce before hitting in front of the embankment. The southern end. Lovely stroke.
He's very good at this shot.
He is.
Daryl Mitchell, he doesn't mind who it is, or Lyon doesn't give you the opportunities when he comes around the wicket, but he's gone over the wicket, which seems to suggest he's coming from a better line to play that shot.
179 for 7. Sweep from wide of off stump, dragging it behind square. 180 for the loss of 7 as Mitchell moves to 35.
How deep do we have to go here too, and how we scrutinise how we use our quick bowlers and how we develop our quick bowlers? When I look out the window and see 3 relatively ageing fast bowlers who have played every single test match this summer as a combination without a hiccup.
Will O'Rourke, I understand, is available to bat today. But Gary Stead is, here's Mitchell coming down and hitting higher, sweeter, longer. 6 runs. Or is that Henry? It is. That's a Daryl Mitchell-esque stroke. Thank you, Jeremy. She's a clean striker. 186 for 7. That is the end of the over. Henry's 14 off 12. Mitchell is 35.
We hope you're enjoying the cricket on SENZ. There's plenty more sport where that came from, like SENZ Breakfast. Start your day right with the very latest breaking news in the world of sport with Israel Dag and Ricardo Ball.
Do you want to give us the news, mate?
Phil Jordan, Crusaders All Blacks fullback. He's going to be out for 2024. It's going to be fireworks, Rick Dog. I'm absolutely pumped for this series against the Australians.
Join us every weekday from 6 a.m. SENZ Breakfast with Izzy and Ricardo.
186 for the loss of 7 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia. And Josh Hazelwood's going to come into the attack from the Vance stand end. Pretty good position to be in. Bring back Josh Hazelwood into the attack for the first time today. None for 17 off 7 overs with 2 maidens. He's at the top of his mark. He's got 2 slips and a gully. Men out both square on the off and onside. Also a long leg. Starts punching on the arm, beats the cover field, quarter weight, and then they go. 187 for the loss of 7 as Mitchell goes to 35. So Will O'Rourke can bat, but Gary Stead will provide an update at the end of the day. I mean, told on Will O'Rourke, so that's a little bit.
O'Rourke, I see.
Doesn't it just give you the answer to the first part of the question?
It does.
The first part of the statement gives you the answer to the second part. He's okay to bat.
You'd think he's okay to bowl?
No, I'm thinking he's not okay to bowl. The fact that they've had to come out and say that he's okay to bat means he's not okay to bowl. And won't be with a hamstring injury available to bowl on Friday. Sunday now.
Hazelwood from over the wicket. Back goes Henry, punches it nicely into the cover region. No run though.
And you wouldn't risk for 1 second taking a bloke into a test match with a suspect hamstring, because if it blew on you, then there's egg all over your face. So he won't be playing.
So what we've had is Jameson injured from the first test match at Mount Maunganui.
Yes.
And no longer required. We've had Wagner, who's retired.
Yes.
But it's a delayed kind of retirement, apparently. But he's already retired. He has.
But yet to be released.
Yeah.
Henry back on his toes.
But he's about to be released. And then the third one, we've got O'Rourke now injured in the third test match. That may not be required. And there are still questions surrounding Kugelheim, I would imagine.
Well, he bowled 3 overs in the second innings.
What kind of questions?
Well, how much trust do they have in him as a bowler?
3 overs
Did
for
I answer
18
it perfectly? Did I answer your question?
I think you did.
Well, you've given us your view.
It's a ringing endorsement.
That's...
Sun breaks through the high cloud. Hazelwood, Fuller, edging, taken at second, slip, sharp catch to his right, above the right shoulder, gobbled up by Smith. 187 for the loss of 8 as Henry departs and Hazelwood into the action straight away.
There you go. That's Steve Smith and his professionalism, pocketing that like taking an apple off a tree in Hawke's Bay. It was that easy. It was that easy for him. Henry drawn onto the front foot by Hazelwood, looking to drive and not being able to control the shot. So regulation dismissal there for Hazelwood. Another good bowling change from Pat Cummins, deciding that Green got his breakthrough. Wasn't working for him, so we'll try someone else. And when you've got Richards like he has to call on, it's almost predictable, really, isn't it? So, and now we've got Tim Southey striding to the crease. I noticed Tim hit quite a few half volleys and full low full tosses into the net this morning, and preparation to feel quite good about things. But
how he handled the short one.
I don't think Hazelwood's going to give him too many of those. We'll wait and see. He might feel generous, but it's Jerry. It's almost concerning, because what we're talking about here is New Zealand trying to square the series, right? And Christchurch going to try and square the series, which means they've got to take 20 wickets to do so, and they'll get no favours. They've got to get 20 wickets. So what we're looking for here is a bowling attack, an informed bowling attack, despite experience here, at the best bowlers in the country to have one crack at this Australian batting lineup. This bowling attack did it very well, apart from Green. Apart from Green and the tail, they operated well. They used their plans well, and they did a damn good job. And I'm not taking that away from them. That's not what's lost them this test match. If the bowling side of thing, the catching side of thing is a problem. That's a collective fix. But how are they going to get 20 wickets in Christchurch with fit players? Where do they get them from?
Tim Southey waits for Hazelwood. He comes forward and punches up nicely towards mid-off, but there will be no run. How many spinners did Australia select in their squad? One. Don't drive. Just let's not water the pitch in Christchurch. Let's get the heaters on it. Load up the spinners. Phillips has just run through them. Bracewell, Patel, get them all in, Smithy. On a ground where spinners have really struggled. really struggled.
At the heart of those names lies Henry.
Oh, he's a given.
He is absolutely a given and the most solid component of it.
Hazelwood bowls full outside of off stump, pushed it towards point. Machine fires and misses the stumps.
I will back you up on that, but has he not had injury problems this year?
Yes, he has. So hamstring again.
Yeah. And that's why I go back to my point. Why don't we? How can this ageing attack? And it's the end of the over. I'm sorry, Daniel.
No, carry on, please.
Crunched on an ad here, but how can this attack, with all their experience but age, play 6 consecutive Test matches without the semblance of a niggle, these 3 bowlers? And New Zealand have got them falling all over the place with every possible conceivable injury you can imagine. They get it. So do we have to go deeper than this surface and say, what are these guys doing that we aren't doing to make sure our best players stay on the field?
Cummins didn't play a T20 international since the 2022 World Cup before.
Well, that's one way. They have but we've also got T20 players that can't do 3 T20s in a row. Ferguson.
Well, you must play first class cricket if you're going to play Test cricket. You must do your work.
Of course you do.
You have to.
188 for the loss of 8 as Lyon bowls to Southey, turns the ball to short leg. 188 always makes me think of Martin Crowe.
Who?
8. Yeah. Martin Crowe.
Passed away
8
years today.
Wow.
Martin passed.
Wow.
Extraordinary.
Poignant.
Yep.
Wow.
Hey, guys. He would have gone all right on the surface. He would have... As Southey goes back, tries to create room. The ball spins back, follows. Might have been the inside edge and taken by Geary. Spun from a long way outside of off stump and missed the leg stump.
Pretty hard option there. Pretty hard option to hit. It's spinning that much to hit through the covers of the back foot.
Line. The Southey backs away, hits straight. All the way. Hitting the scaffolding for which the television cameras sit proudly at the top. Swing and a success for Southey. He's 7, it's 198. 94 for the loss of 8.
Good blow. It's a nice blow down the ground. Nicely timed. Gave himself a bit of room outside off stump. Ball really didn't turn. Just turned into the meat of the bat, so it was nicely hit.
Just need another 30 of those.
Another
30 of those.
Shaking his head.
No, we win the 6 hitting competition.
Yeah. Well, he's going to world record, Tim Southey, isn't he? He's going for the world record, is he?
Yeah, pretty close.
Close?
That noted world record. An important world record. I think they've lost the ball. Where's the ball gone?
Oh, game over.
Right. We'll call it a draw.
No, here it comes.
We'll call it a draw.
Here it comes.
We'll just call it a draw. Hi, guys. Yeah, the Bunnings Trade replay screen, seeing the ball hit. Scaffolding, jolting off on a bit of an angle. It's returned. Immediately Nathan Lyon.
There's one behind Chris Cairns in the 6 hitting department. Tim Southey. 87 plays 86.
From over the wicket, Lyon bowls to him. He goes back and he turns the ball into the onside. There's no run. I must admit, I'm not completely in favour with who holds the world record for 6s. Ben Stokes does. How many ahead? How many ahead of Tim Southey? He's 40 ahead. Well, he won't get them today.
He does. We'll be drinking a lot of champagne.
We will. He can't, because only 180 odd needed. He's hit high, straight towards long on. Stark lining this one up and takes the catch. He definitely will not get it now. Tim Southey gone. Lion has another. 6 for 64. 194 for the loss of 9 wickets. And New Zealand crumbling in front of their home fans as Tim Southey departs for the loss of 7. Our coverage continues straight up after this.
Visual start from the bowling of Nathan Lyon. Tim Southey departs for 7 on 7 to...
It was back around the time Ethereal was winning the Melbourne and Caulfield Cups that Gerard's Horse and Hound served their first customer. Now, after 20 plus years supplying specialty products to the equine and canine industries in New Zealand and Australia, Gerard's is a household name. Gerard's Horse and Hound guarantees expert advice, stocks the largest range, and promises great monthly specials. Equine, canine, feline. Gerard's in Christchurch, Pukekohe, Cambridge or horseandhound.com.au.
10 wickets in the test match for Nathan Lyon for the 5th time in his decorated career. Ian Smith.
Brilliant bowler, absolutely brilliant bowler. He's, if you like cricket, if you like watching test cricket, if you like watching the skills in test cricket, you love watching Nathan Lyon because he just works so hard at his craft and thinks hard about it. It's no fluke. Look, he's the first guy out there looking at the pitch. He's the first guy out there rolling his arm over. He works in tandem with his wicketkeeper while his wicketkeeper's trying to get keeping practice. He's working with him. He just, it's the result of hard work. He doesn't play much white ball cricket. I mean, he would make a lot of sides around the world in their white ball team, but Australia don't choose to use him in that capacity. So he relishes every opportunity he's got to play test cricket, and he cashes in more often than not. He is the ultimate professional at the top of his craft.
Nathan Lyon looking to finish it off. He bowls to Will O'Rourke, who defends the ball to the offside. And that is the end of the over. 9 for 194. The Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand down to Australia. The risk for New Zealand is they don't top 200 here, Smithy, which was sort of that was the theme of the Australian tour a few summers ago, where they just couldn't get themselves north of 200, and if Williamson's not going to make scores, it's a heavy burden to carry.
And there's some rather disparaging messages coming through on my phone, and there will be on the text line as well, saying, was that our captain that just got caught on the fence when he's got a batsman at the other end trying to save a test match for us or win a test match? Was that our captain that just got caught down there? And those messages will start to flow more regularly. And I get it. Thank you, Colin.
Josh Hazlewood with ball in hand. Daryl Mitchell has survived all of the day to this point, and he continues to repel. He has faced 119 deliveries for his 36, while wickets have fallen rapidly at the other end.
He's been quite tight, Mitchell, hasn't he? It's a different kind of Daryl Mitchell innings.
And even now, with 200 and too many to win, they're still tactically working it out here, Australia. They want Daryl Mitchell to have a single so they can attack O'Rourke, and then they'll close in at the end of the over.
Put 5 in the deep, Mitchell in behind blocks.
And Mitchell's not intent, but, this is the horse and cart after the Lord Mayor's show, unfortunately, this kind of tactic.
Yeah.
Just trying to clean up a mess, and if you're Daryl Mitchell, you just go for red ink, I'm afraid. Boost your own average and say, well, I tried. I gave it my best shot. It hasn't been my most pure test match, but I was in for the fight. Don't give it away.
Hazlewood rounds his mark. Strides in over the wickets and bowls to Mitchell, who pulls down into the deep. He won't take the single for the moment. That's the 3rd ball of the over.
Most interested in this procedure is Nathan Lyon at backward point, because he was very, very confident that he could get 7 for here if he gets the chance at O'Rourke in particular. 6 deliveries at O'Rourke.
He's got 2 8-fers, 3 7-fers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 6th 6-fer as matters stand.
Would this be his 2nd or 3rd test at the Basin?
That's his second. Hazelwood bowls and defended by Mitchell out to cover. So he does call the single and leave 2 balls. So he's got this peculiar record now. He's taken 7 and 10 as 17. He's the second highest wicket-taking spinner at the ground.
At the ground,
yes.
Only Vittori would be ahead of him, who's played 21 tests here at the Basin.
And there's this other anomaly too, Gerard. He says optimistically if O'Rourke survives for the next 14 minutes, we carry on.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Extra half hour.
Thank you. So it's going to be over soon.
We won't get to lunch unless something remarkable happens.
Might not be a bad thing.
So O'Rourke notionally with a couple to negotiate from Hazelwood. Cordon is stacked. Hazelwood bowls. O'Rourke ducks the bouncer. Saw it early and decisively. 4 slips or 3 slips in a gully. Depends how tight green is, and the bat pad head under the helmet, who's played a role in his own right across the 2 innings. Taking nice catches. Macca's catch of the summer cricket. I'm loving it. Crowd started with such hope, cheering every run that was being scored. It's a more sombre mood for the locals. There's plenty of travelling Australians who are about to see their team win in Wellington. Hazelwood bowls and O'Rourke leaves outside the off stump. So service will go to Nathan Lyon at the other end. 9 for 195. Kubota scoreboard shaping New Zealand and Australia.
The hallway with dated wallpaper. Yeah, some people might call it chic, but to you, it just looks tired. What's the easiest way to remove old wallpaper, though? Are you putting off your decorating project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask the team at your local Resene colour shop for all you need on the best wallpaper, prep and hanging techniques so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resene.
Nathan Lyon still trying to conjure the delivery of the day. Get your Macca's favourites delivered with McDelivery. You got Ravindra, Blundell and Phillips in quick succession. Southey on the happy hitting down the ground, and now he'll get a look at Mitchell, who was a bit shaky against Lyon at the start of his innings yesterday, but has played him pretty well since. A slip, a bat pad, a short backward square, and then the ring on the leg side. Deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on. And there'll be a more conventional straight mid-wicket. There's a mid-off and a deep backward point. Lyon over the wicket bowls. Mitchell's reverse sweeping into the turf, but he can't take the single. So the reverse sweep hasn't got him much in this innings. It was risky early yesterday, and even the run that was on offer to him, he can't take off the first ball of the over. Smith is just, what's he going to do? He's coming out of slip, sort of under his own steam, I reckon. Moved himself around to a gully for that reverse sweep. Mitchell stands upright and tickles the ball to head under the helmet. Umpire Erasmus in the twilight of his test officiating career. As Nathan Lyon moving past him. Bowls to Mitchell, who's back covering his stumps, turning to backward square. No runs, Kawaja Fields.
Hi guys.
It's as quiet as things have been through an action-packed test match. It's about to reach its conclusion. Mitchell from his crease, around the corner, past head, takes the single from the 4th ball of the over. And again, all attention turns to Will O'Rourke. Lions 8th was Bengaluru and Indore, 2017-2023. The 7th is Delhi, Chattogram, Adelaide. That was 2014, bowling Australia to victory. The 6th was Birmingham, Chattogram, Mirpur, Adelaide, Perth, and now Wellington.
Doesn't mind Chattogram, does he?
No, not at all. Be stacked in his favour, you think?
He won't mind the Basin either. It'll be a great memory for him. And he's got 2 opportunities here to make it 7 for.
They take the full time to set the field. Bat pad Leg gully, leg slip, first slip. Catching mid-wicket. 2 in the deep on the leg side beyond that. So they seem to be setting up for O'Rourke around the corner.
It's fantastic off spinner, hasn't he been? Really, all those figures you know, and for a long time as well, hasn't it? Fantastic. I mean, when he got injured in that second Test match at Lord's in the last Ashes, that was really a blow for Australia, and it took some pretty crazy batting by England actually to be dismissed once he was off the field. I remember he came on to bat too, didn't he? Hobbled out to bat.
Just let's look at this field, Jerry. Got a slip, 2 leg slips, 2 short legs that have to remain in front of square, of course, because the 2 players behind, and he's going round the wicket.
So just the turn around the corner. Sharp catching practice.
It's anything really. Any bat at all, he's in trouble.
Line around the wicket, bowls. O'Rourke covers his stumps, gets it to his toes. Keeps them at bay. There we are. The crowd's back. Bit of appreciation. Well, O'Rourke trying to stretch things out in Wellington. The Australians all hunch down and prepare themselves. Line in, bowls. O'Rourke smothers it down to leg slip and survives. 9 for 196 on the Kubota scoreboard, shaping New Zealand and Australia.
Get so much more with the great garage store from Garage. Auckland.
Every Aucklander deserves to have a strong, safe, secure Garrador Auckland garage door. From Wellsford to Waiuku, Garrador Auckland service the whole of Auckland, and with a 10-year warranty, they're hard to beat. GarradorAuckland.co.nz.
Get so much more with the great garage door from Garrador. Auckland.
SENZ cricket is live on the SEN app and also in Auckland on 14:76 a.m. Australia with 1 more wicket to achieve. The task was 7 at the start of the day. We'd be 6 minutes away from what would be the scheduled lunch break. Mitchell is running the ball out through point. He's thinking about 2. So this is exactly what happened with Green and Hazelwood. They crossed and now they retreat. Our 2 umpires should be well schooled in this. They just have a look at each other and go, yeah, we've seen that before. We waved it away. And it does bring in Dan's pithy text message. Smithy, have those 5 penalty runs come into play yet? Well, they just did square off.
They're balanced now. Yeah. The ledger is absolutely balanced.
0433 98 11 16 in Australia and 8833 in New Zealand. Mitchell's on 38. Hazelwood bowls to him and Mitchell punches the ball out to deep point. No run. We've still got those enthusiastically pushing up for Nathan Lyon as the player of the match with his 11 wickets, despite Cameron Green's heroics of more than 200 and the only player in the Test match for triple figures. I think if you're holding a candle for Lyon, you're going to be disappointed. Hazelwood under bright skies. Bowls to Mitchell, who pulls him down into the deep. And again, he can't take the run. Reaches the boundary riders. That's the 3rd ball of the over. So he's prepared to trust O'Rourke with 2.
Everyone's so far away. Alex Carey's got no one to throw the ball to. Finally rolls it down to Mitchell Marsh at deep mid-off to give it back to Hazelwood. That's how far spread they all are. And Pat Cummins is starting to think about, will I just make the sacrifice a little bit earlier and bring my players up just 1 ball earlier.
So they're up to save singles at cover and mid-wicket, sacrificing a slip to do so. And mid-off as well, just been asked to take a couple of steps forward. See if they can make it exciting on the tight single. Hazelwood to Mitchell. Top edge flies up. Hazelwood takes the catch. And Australia win the Test in Wellington. The Trans-Tasman Trophy is retained. The ruthless streak in this bowling attack led by Nathan Lyon has secured victory for Australia. And hope was all New Zealand had at the start of the day, and hope was extinguished inside 2 hours. The margin of victory will be 172 runs. Ian Smith.
Demoralising from New Zealand's point of view. They did enough in this test match in certain areas to put it really on Australia. I talked about it earlier this morning. Australians batting, apart from Cameron Green, was pretty meek. 175 runs collectively. If you go down as far as Carey and you take out Green, that's all they managed in 12 innings. And that, in any normal course of events, should give you a really big chance of beating Australia. It really should. But the problem is that was countered by New Zealand's ineptness with the bat against a very good Australian side. And so you can take the batting out of it as well. It really did balance each other out, apart from Cameron Green, who will be the player of this test match without doubt. Look, Nathan Lyon, classy, absolutely classy. Give him the conditions. He's going to be so threatening, and New Zealand's technique at times against him was not confident enough to defend, so we'll hit. He set a field back, and a number of players succumbed to that over the course of both innings. A side well led by Pat Cummins. He has so many resources available to him in the bowling side of things that he feels comfortable that he can play the waiting game. And in all honesty, it's no secret that Australia are the best cricket side in the world on pretty much all conditions. It's because they get the best players. And they weren't at their peak in this test match. A lot of them weren't at their peak in this test match, which is the worrying thing from New Zealand's point of view, as the players now in their traditional lines shake each other's hands. And, I just think good test hit by the umpires, actually. No controversy as such. So it was a good test match. But New Zealand have a lot more questions now to answer, particularly with fit players, available players, options, etc. Jeremy, I know you're going to come in now as well. I'm not... you normally get to the end of a season, you don't have this many questions, but I started Tom Latham and I worked my way down, and I can put question marks against a lot of players.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, thoroughly professional performance right from the prior to the day's play, where you can see the Australians getting ready to play and keep their standards very high. Emphatic victory over three days and one session, really. Wasn't pure, as you say, in the sense that not as many runs as you would expect coming from the top order and the places you might expect on a pitch that nibbled on certainly the first day, 9 for 270 odd, and then the 10th wicket, of course, extending that to 380 of a partnership of 116, engineered mainly by Cam Green, who was batting most of day one, and then into day two got to 174, stood out like a beacon, really. And then New Zealand at the crease were 5 for 29 very quickly, counter-punched a bit with Phillips and Blundell, but 4 quick wickets as soon as Lyon came to the bowling crease, and so they had quite a deficit. Australian third innings was really quite a bit messy, wasn't it? Again, the top order was removed quite quickly. But the damage had been done, really, and in the first innings of 383, so 370 for New Zealand to chase, while there was a little hope, while Ravindra and Mitchell were there at the end of day 3, and it was only 113 for 3, a little bit of hope, but I think 7 for 59 in the first session. Today's play, again, Nathan Lyon controlling things completely from his end of the ground. So thoroughly good performance, and well done, Australia.
We're about to hear from Cam Green. He made 174 not out in the first innings, and the margin of victory was 172 runs. So that seems to settle it rather neatly with the bare mathematics of it. And he's about to be interviewed as part of the television coverage. It's such a beacon moment in Green's career. And one that will be talked about, I'm sure, for the duration of his playing days. One that will be so fondly thought of in what he was able to achieve. So the presentations, Daniel McHardy is downstairs with the All Blacks, and Adam Collins and Bharat Sundaresan with the Australians. So we're going to share all of this with you in the coming minutes. We'll stay together for an hour to dissect it all. So we'll go through to 2 o'clock local.
Cam Green, congratulations. 174, not out. It was a heck of an innings from you. Set up this test for Australia. How did you feel after that kind of knock, Cam?
Yeah, it's always a good feeling. It was a bit of a tough wicket day one and kind of stayed like that for the whole game. So, it's a nice win.
You've announced yourself to New Zealand audiences for sure. This test match had its moments for both sides, but ultimately that stand with Josh Hazlewood, and I thought Josh batted brilliantly too. What were you talking about while you were out there?
Yeah, I think we kept it pretty simple. I think it's always nice having an experienced head out there. I think he's been in those situations before and had pretty good partnerships in the 10th wicket before. So, it's always nice for experienced guy at the other end.
Got a great travelling group of fans here as well. They appreciated your work out there across this test match, and then getting to have a bowl and taking a poll today as well. That must have been a good feeling, Cam.
Yeah, it's always nice to top off the week with that. I think it was a beautiful bowling innings from us. I think Gary bowled beautiful on the last day. He's always under pressure in the fourth innings, and he always seems to stand up and perform. So, he bowled beautifully.
Yeah, this test match, but for you setting up that victory with 174, congratulations, our ANZ player of the match, Cam Green.
Thank you, cheers.
That is Cam Green, the player of the match. His 174 not out, and he was the pick of the batters in the second innings as well, as he made his 34, and it took a nice piece of bowling and a great catch to remove him there. So the 200 plus that he posted becomes a big moment in his career. And we'll just keep an eye on things down below us to see what happens next. We'll get a word from inside the Black Caps camp by the look of it. Here's Tim Southey.
Periods in that test match where you were getting on top, so plenty to think about heading into the next one.
Yeah, like every game, we'll reflect and look at ways that we can be better in the next one.
Selections, I guess they're going to be a talking point heading into the next test, but for this particular test, you felt you got it right?
We obviously didn't think it was going to turn as much as what it did, and having those two guys in the top 7 obviously gives you that option if it does turn, which we saw the ability for Glenn to be able to come into the game like he did yesterday, and give us that option with the ball if it is turning a little bit.
Two very special performances from two bowlers, Matt Henry with a fifer, Glenn Phillips with his first fifer as well. So there are positives to take out of this result.
Yeah, those two had great weeks, not only with the ball, but obviously contributed with a bat. Matt's 40-odd in the first innings, and Glenn's 70-odd in the first innings as well. So, Glenn's still new to Test cricket and new to bowling, and he's doing a great job. Those two have had very good weeks.
Had a wonderful crowd here over the last 3.5 days too, Tim. What would you say to the fans who've turned out en masse here at the Basin Reserve?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's always nice to play in front of good crowds, and it's been as good as I can remember here at the Basin Reserve. So it's obviously a disappointing result, but great to see the fans coming through and getting behind us.
Give us an inkling into what will happen over the coming days for this side, and what's the biggest thing you'll be thinking about?
We'll reflect on this. We'll debrief it, and obviously move to a different ground, different surface, ground that we've had a lot of success at. So we'll prepare, obviously in Christchurch, but we have a couple of days here to reflect on this week.
All right, lovely time, mate. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.
So that's Tim Southey, the New Zealand captain, and he'll trade places with Pat Cummins. Another victory for Australia.
Cummins, congratulations, 1-0 up in the series, and it was just an all-round good performance from your side, wasn't it?
Had our moments. It was a really good game overall, I think. Never felt like we were too far in front on that wicket. Overall, really happy.
Yeah, the wicket's an interesting one. I think it confounded a few of those pundits early, and how much turn it took, and the work of Nathan Lyon, then of course Glenn Phillips as well. Were you surprised at the turn and bounce here?
Yeah, a little bit. First of all, seeing how green it is. It was really bouncy. Actually had a bit of pace in it, but as much bounce as I've seen on any wicket for a long time. Thankfully spun, which with Nathan in our side, it's always a pretty good thing.
Cam Green, a word on him, a player of the match performance from a young man who's finding his way into this side. What did you make of what was a very special knock?
Yeah, he was amazing. He was really the difference in the end. You look at the trend of the game. I think the next highest score was about 50 or 60, and he's obviously put on 170 odd, not out. So it was amazing. I thought the way he went about it as well, that intent really put the pressure back on the bowlers on day one.
It feels like this test match is over far too soon, but probably not for you guys. You've enjoyed this victory, but how much of a challenge is that New Zealand side to face? What do they bring to the contest for you?
I think no matter what format, they've got a heap of match winners. It always seems like you look down the order and they've all, on their day can take the game away from you. So a lot of experience. Obviously next week a couple of them are playing their 100th test as well. So, can't take them too lightly.
A couple of days off now just to maybe relax and get the bodies right for the next challenge?
Yeah, that's right. Pretty quick turnaround. I think it's 4 days now. So, enjoy this win, but pretty chilled.
You've got a great bunch following you around, mentioned them to Cam as well, but these fans who track you around the world, they're always entertaining, and you've certainly entertained them this week, haven't you?
Yeah, they're great. Plenty of Aussie shirts around the stadium. Even the Kiwi fans we've met over here so far have been fantastic. I've seen a few Bucks parties as well flying over from Australia. Been nice and rowdy, but it's been, fans here all week have been awesome.
All right, mate, we look forward to seeing you in Christchurch. Congratulations. A win by 172 runs, 1-0 up in the series. Pat Cummins, everyone.
Thank you. Tough.
Australian captain Pat Cummins, Adam Collins and Bharat Sundaresan downstairs with Nathan Lyon.
Nathan Lyon with us down at the side of the pitch. A 10-wicket game, back-to-back 10-wicket games against New Zealand with, 5 years or thereabouts in between. You must be thrilled about the way you bowled today. Change of ends, then changed again, 3 wickets in 2 overs and broke the game open.
Thanks, Collar. Pretty happy with just all team round performance, to be honest with you. I was lucky enough to get the rewards today, but all in all, pretty special week.
Before we zoom out, just talk us through that change of ends this morning, deciding to bowl from the pavilion end, then going back to where you were yesterday.
It wasn't my call. That was the skipper's call. The wind suddenly picked up and come, I think it's Westley, and Starkey, they thought Starkey with the breeze coming in. So I was pretty quick, Smithy and I were pretty quick to say, nah, I'm going that end. You boys can push into it today.
And you were justified at 3 balls, like you got rid of Ravindra, and then from that point on, it just like went that way.
It was interesting trying to come up with different plans with the amount of bounce and the amount of spin that we had out there, and the challenge of trying to find the stumps as well. So it was good fun, it's a good challenge, and it's good problem solving.
You said when you spoke to us, Nathan, a couple of days ago that you were desperate to bowl on that pitch. You weren't very happy with the way it gone in the first dig. Did you take a while to get settled in as well in the second innings?
I think I put it down. I talked to Dan Vittoria a bit here, and he obviously said he bowled a lot from the far end as well, and he said it actually takes a couple of overs just to adjust to the wind, because it can be gusty, it can be quite strong, and I know it sounds weird or probably whinging a little bit, but wind can put you off, especially when you're in your load up and everything like that. So it just took me a little bit, but we expected that, and we just tried to adjust to it.
You said the wind took away your hair last time anyway, so the wind has not been your friend. But just with the bat as well, I mean, it's not every day that you've top scored for Australia, batting at number 4, and just falling short of that.
That number 4.
And just falling short of that 50 that we're all waiting to see from you.
No, I think we'll be waiting for a 50, but that's my second time top scoring and last. So let's hope so.
And the other time, a fairly infamous test match where you bowled out for Sodol down in Cape Town. But, you top scored in the second innings and picked up 10 wickets here in ordinary circumstances. You're probably with the player of the match. Instead, it's Cameron Green for an extraordinary performance in the first innings. As a senior player, watching him mature and assert himself on the team initially and now on world cricket, you must be chuffed.
Oh, over the moon, and absolutely over the moon for Greeny, and I honestly think he deserves a man of the match, and I'm over the moon for him because the way he's obviously had a bit of pressure on coming number 4 and hadn't had the runs that he would like, but he went back to Shield, he scored 100 for the WA batting 4, and he's come out here and showed a class when we were in trouble. All in all, I'm over the moon for Cameron, and hopefully he can take a lot of confidence out of this moving forward.
527 test wickets for you now, 36 years of age. You overtook Courtney Walsh this week. Only 5 men in test cricket have taken more than you. I know you don't like to talk about your own records and performances and all the rest of it, but I mean, you must feel at the moment like you've got years and years left in you.
I do, especially when you look around the playing group, and it's a bloody special team to be a part of, and I've got some of my best mates that I'll be mates for life. We'll be mates for life for everyone in that change room, but there's a couple of real special ones in there, especially within the bowling unit, and I don't know, there's definitely no inside in my cricket. I just love playing cricket for Australia, love playing my role, and if I can keep enjoying it, and there's no reason why I'd stop.
A great many of those test matches you've had Murray Erasmus standing either at square leg or at point, and then obviously when you've been at the bowling crease. I saw you two sharing a laugh today. His final test match, some words for the retiring umpire who you spent a lot of time with.
I only found that out this morning that he'll be standing his last test match, and I said that took me by surprise, to be honest with you. And I've got a lot of respect for the way Murray's gone about it, managing players, emotions, but also his umpiring skills. I feel like he's been one of the best over the last, especially my whole career. And I just said, thanks for just being a mate as well. I just having conversations with, and I tend to talk to probably a lot of crap to a lot of people when I'm out in the field, but Murray, he's a genuine guy, he's a nice guy, he's a brilliant umpire, and I just wished him all the best for next week.
Nathan, Scott Marsh bowled Lilies, quite something in the history of Australian cricket. Scott Smith bowled Lions, has become quite a thing. Just what is it like when you have Steve Smith at first slip or leg slip, and you're bowling on a pitch like this?
You see that catch he took off Trav. As a bowler standing there, you get a lot of confidence when you look up and see what keeper you have and what guy at first slip, because my motor Smith was in my head at number one and probably caught slip, bowled or caught behind. So when you see Smithy, they're practicing non-stop and his ability to take the catches where probably 99% of people probably aren't catching them. Two stand out to me. One off me was at indoor off Pajara, then that one today. That just shows the class of the guy, and it's been pretty remarkable, the record that keep pushing up together. Just the little partnership's pretty special.
Nathan Lyon, 10 wickets in the match, never been better. Congratulations on retaining the Trans-Tasman Trophy, and thanks for joining us.
Too easy. Thanks, guys.
Right, so we've had Nathan Lyon to begin with. Daniel McHardy's going to join us as well before we get the chance to talk to one of the New Zealand players. Looks like it's going to be the dazzler Daryl Mitchell, who joins us in a moment. He was the last man out today, Daniel. He put in a shift. He hung on as long as he could, but when it boils down to it, they needed to have Ravindra and Mitchell batting for multiple hours, not just for half an hour.
Oh, he's a great competitor, Daryl Mitchell. He would have loved arriving here thinking, hey, we could possibly do this. But I look back at two key little facets. New Zealand lose 3 wickets for no run in the first innings, and then today have lost 3 wickets for 2 runs. You can't afford those little moments against such an unrelenting Australian attack who doesn't offer you too many freebies. So you've got to be able to weather those storms, and unfortunately they haven't. Just as the sun pokes out, it turns into a lovely Wellington afternoon. The grey cloud that sort of hung over here is going to hang over this team, I'm sure, for a few days yet.
Yes, the banks were packed today, as they were every day. I suppose most of them will go up Adelaide Road to the festival that you've told us all about later today. But they'll have to back up in 4 days as well when we arrive in Christchurch, and to go again, having been soundly defeated. They did hang in there, but you look back at it, morning 2 with Josh Hazlewood batting the whole way through the session with Cameron Green. They weren't far away from this being quite a competitive test match.
211 for 7, actually, late in day number 1. Yeah. I look back at that sort of last half an hour, 40 minutes, where it looks like they were quite tired, quite jaded. I know the wind, the fluctuating, gusty nature of the Wellington wind really does drain an attack in New Zealand. Look, those last 10 overs leading up to the new ball, it was quite a struggle for them, and I think they'll look back at that, yes, and of course, hugely frustrating. What the most significant partnership of the game, I think the only 100-run stand of the game, which is quite unusual. So we might get Daryl Mitchell's verdict on things as he strides on in. Daryl, appreciate your time. You probably arrived here thinking the unthinkable's possible, but to be over before lunch, stating the obvious, a pretty disappointing end, fair to say.
Yeah, look, I guess we woke up this morning excited about the challenge, both firstly with me and Rutchin, to try and build a partnership, and we know 360 is a tough chase on a surface like that, but at the same time we knew if we could build some partnerships we might try and put some pressure on them, and look, we just weren't able to do it for longer periods, and that's the nature of the game. I've
just been saying to my colleagues here, you've got to be able to weather those storms. You lost 3 wickets for no runs in the first innings, 3 for 2 today. They're so good, unrelenting, those little moments where you've got to stop the bleeding, I guess.
Look, I think that was the nature of the surface more than the opposition themselves. Look, obviously they've got a world-class attack, and we know that, but we were able to do it with the ball in that second innings as well. And look, there's key moments we look back at now and we'll analyse, but at the same time we know as much as it's 170 runs or whatever loss, there's little moments that we can definitely work on and bring it a lot closer, if not go the other way.
That'd be a pretty tough attack on a road, but I think Tom Blundell described it to me after day one as a naughty little pitch. You know, pace and bounce here, but that spin's quite unique.
Yeah, look, it's something you probably don't expect at the Basin for it to turn like that, and that's the wonderful game that we play. Is there's certain things you can't control, and look, I thoroughly loved it out there to take on some of the best bowlers in the world and test yourself in those conditions. Is good fun and bodes well for heading into the next test.
So what were the plans out there? You know, we all know about the three pacemen, but Nathan Lyon turning it, bouncing it over 500 test wicket. You know, what plans had you devised for today specifically to get through all of those things?
I think that's the thing, is that you look at how they're going to attack you. What are the threats? Obviously, we know the bounce and the turn for Lions, the threat probably with the guys around the bat pad. So it's finding ways to negate that, but also trying to find ways to put pressure back on them, and that makes them hopefully bowl some bad balls in between, and you can try and cash in. And the big quicks, they keep charging in, they keep banging a length, and again, it's trying to find ways to keep putting pressure on them at the same time soaking up those good balls in between.
What are you happy with as a team? What do you think you've done well here at the Basin Reserve?
Look, I think the character the group showed in that second innings with the ball to come out and bowl Australia out for, I'm not sure what it was, 150, 160, whatever that was. I think that shows that this group, you know, that we're a bunch of Kiwis, we'll take on the world, and we'll stick our chests out and we'll smile and do it at the same time. And really proud to put ourselves in a position after not a great day two as a group, but for that character to show through of what the Black Caps is something very proud of.
170 odd run loss, 174 to Cameron Green. Got to acknowledge something, especially unfortunately for you. You had a pretty good view of it at first slip for long times. What stood out watching him?
Yeah, look, he played really well. I think, you know, obviously the surface, being a taller guy, and he rode the bat with a bounce well, he left well, and he had a little bit of luck along the way as well with a few player misses. So that's the nature of the game that we play, and credit to him, he played really well.
As you head to Christchurch, the spirit's still pretty high?
Yeah, look, really exciting. For me, first of all, to go home and spend a week in my own bed will be nice, but also that, Hagley's a beautiful ground. It's similar to the Basin in terms of the grass banks, and we know there'll be a big crowd there supporting us, and we'll get stuck in and we'll see what happens.
We're beaming back into Australia. For those who don't know, that the surface in Hagley, what's it tend to be like?
I would say it's probably more of one of our quicker bouncier tracks around the country. For me, it's my home ground and a number of other guys on the team, so it's always nice, I guess, getting onto that surface and getting stuck in.
Well, all the very best, Daryl. Do appreciate your time today.
Cheers, thank you.
The thoughts of Daryl Mitchell from the Black Caps. That wraps up proceedings down here on the ground. I'll stay out here, Gerard. Sunbathe. It's now a glorious afternoon in the Riviera of the South Pacific.
We'll see you on the beach in a couple of hours. Daniel McHardy downstairs, Adam Collins, Bharat Sundaresan as well. So Australia victorious by 172 runs. We'll get the final thoughts of Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney coming up on SEN and SENZ Test Cricket for Resine. Quality paint and colours, perfect for your summer projects.
Imagine a deck where you can invite people around to enjoy the afternoon. The deck looks good and no one slips on the mould. Are you putting off your painting project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask the team at your local Resine colour shop for all the help you need on the best wood stains, prep and staining techniques for your project so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resine.
It's tax time at Bunnings Trade. There's amazing value on our wide range of power tools, workwear and much more. Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 15%. Conditions apply. See website for details.
Busy making a crease in the sofa as you watch batsmen at the crease? Well, you won't want to risk leaving the couch because you might miss this ball, the next ball, or the delivery after that. Best get your dinner delivered instead. Macca's, we deliver.
I've always tried to make good choices for my family's future and their happiness. Having an enjoyable and safe building experience is about choosing the right builder. So put your family in safe hands and choose GJ's with their proven track record. In over 25 years of business and with close to 23,000 builds, GJ's has completed every home we've ever started, a fact we're very proud of. Make a wise choice and choose New Zealand's most trusted home builder. GJ's, here today and tomorrow.
For Resine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket, the Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
Need a taxi?
Call Auckland Co-op Taxis 09300 3000. Catching up with friends. Entertaining with colleagues and clients. Need a safe ride home after the party? Do it all with one call. 09300 3000. Auckland Co-op Taxis. Part of Blue Bubble nationwide.
Safe and reliable. So book your Blue Bubble.
Auckland Co-op Taxis 09300 3000.
Stay with SENZ after the cricket. There's a world of sport waiting for you. Start your day with SENZ Breakfast with Israel Dag and Ricardo Ball from 6 a.m. weekdays.
There's just always things going on, there's laser lights.
Then the doyen of New Zealand sports broadcasting, Ian Smith from 9 a.m.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Mark Stafford's on standby to take your calls and more from 12 till 3 before the run home with Kirsten Beeve. That's Stephen Donald to you from 3 p.m.
A must.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for cricket, but so much more as well. It's Kiwi for sport.
Get so much more with a great garage door from Garrador. Auckland. 10 years warranty, real security. Garrador. Auckland. Quality, real durability, servicing you since 62. Get so much more with a great garage door from Garrador. Auckland.
I've always tried to make good choices for my family's future and their happiness. Having an enjoyable and safe building experience is about choosing the right builder. So put your family in safe hands and choose GJ's with their proven track record. In over 25 years of business and with close to 23,000 builds, GJ's has completed every home we've ever started, a fact we're very proud of. Make a wise choice and choose New Zealand's most trusted home builder. GJ's, here today and tomorrow.
Stay in the fence, she says. Stay in the fence and it would look so much better. But you have to admit, you're not sure where to start. Are you putting off your painting or staining project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask at your local Resine colour shop for all the help you need on the best stain, paints, prep, painting techniques so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resine.
Hi, Paul here from Waterforce, keeping your lawns, gardens, parks, subdivisions, sports fields and golf courses looking green and lush is what we do best. We're also experts in improving water quality so it's safe to drink and use. We help a wide variety of residential and commercial clients around New Zealand to use their water as efficiently and effectively as possible. Waterforce offers custom design solutions for your individual needs and supplies the best quality products and equipment for the job. Download our home irrigation planning guide to get started at waterforce.co.nz.
The team at PGG Wrightson Turf are all about the delivery of high-performance turf grass solutions. They've been in the business for over 40 years, so they know what it takes to deliver a top-quality result for your needs. From pro sports turf and turf landscaping through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team knows every aspect of the turf and environmental markets. To find out more about how they can help with your turf grass solutions, visit pggwrightsonturf.com.
Gallagher Insurance has been helping Kiwis for 45 years. Their characteristic blend of local expertise and global reach means they can support their clients wherever they do business. That's why Gallagher Insurance is the exclusive insurance partner of the New Zealand Open. So whether you need help navigating the unexpected or you just want some confidence taking that next step in life or in business, let Gallagher help you face your future with confidence. Search Gallagher Insurance NZ today.
For Resine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
The game scores in Wellington, Australia 385 and 164. New Zealand 179 and 196. Australia victorious by 172 runs. Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney will get their final thoughts before we all disperse here in Wellington. What's front of mind for you, Smithy, as you contemplate what's happened over the past 4 days?
Well, a disappointment really, giving themselves opportunities by dismissing Australia very cheaply twice. Not being able to get rid of Cameron Green, that can happen, but not being able to recover from that partnership between him and Hazelwood. I think they're probably the most galling things for me as I look at a result which is now in a test match which has lasted just not even 3 days in one session. and that's pretty poor. It's a pretty poor defeat in anyone's language. So, the optimist in me says let's turn the page and very quickly and start looking towards Christchurch. I know Jeremy's been doing some research behind the scenes there on that. But there's too many players who don't look to be in great nick to me. And I'll start at the top of the order. Tom Latham looks horribly out of sorts against the really good bowling attacks, and he succumbed in both innings. And we work alongside him. We've got Will Young, whose technique looks good enough, but he just doesn't produce the big scores. And we've got a situation where, at number 3, you don't doubt it. So that's the given. Williamson's the given. Mitchell's the given. Ravindra is the given. So 3, 4, 5 look pretty damn good to me. Phillips is a given. Blundell's a given. But has to produce a decent score at some point shortly. And then you get into an area where New Zealand have got real issues to sort through. That's the bowling attack. Through injury and through non-performance. They've got a captain who is underperforming. At this point, he's down on pace, he's down on production, and slogs out at the end of the game. So, you've got to get alongside Tim Southee and say you've got to be better than that. You've got to be better than that. So there are massive issues that have unfolded in the last day or so of this Test match from my point of view. So who they pick is the first thing they have to consider. But you can't continue on thinking, she'll be right, mate, which is one of the great sayings in New Zealand. She'll be right, Fred Dagg, she'll be right. It won't be. It will not be. And one of the things that's been weirdest thing has been the whole Neil Wagner issue. Had he not retired the other day, had it just been absorbed the disappointment of not being picked, he would have been playing in Christchurch. Out of default almost, he'd have been playing in Christchurch. What do they do now? Because to call him out of retirement after 3 days, it's almost embarrassing, Gerard. It's almost embarrassing.
I can't see how we could have, though, 2 of our bowlers bowling less than 130 Ks against the Australians.
No, you can't.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that's possible. I mean, there is almost a case to say Southee as well, if he wasn't captain, would he be selected in the side? I mean, that's quite a legitimate question to ask. We know he's going to be, because then there's the other issue about it's his 100th Test match. And the thought would be that he would go to to Christchurch and play that, and then we'll look at that issue then. I think Latham, yes, he's not in great form at the moment. I would say a lot of people saying he can't score against good sides. Well, that's their good sides. A lot of people don't score that many against good sides. That's quite a logical sort of thought, I think, from there. Young, I think, yes, he hasn't scored. I'd like to see him get a bit of a run. He doesn't get much of a run in his Test match sort of career. Williamson, we know, we had a slightly messy first innings from him with a judgment, and in the second ones he's kind of defending or looking for a run very fine. He's out as well. So 2 failures for him. Ravindra came right in the second innings. I thought he showed he was a bit more organised in the second innings. Mitchell's there. Blundell's there. He has to be. They need runs from those 3 players. Phillips, of course, kind of almost exceeded people's expectations here with the ball, certainly. And he got that 1 innings. I agree with Smithy in the sense that then we get into real issues about who are we going to select as the bowlers. Some names. Well, if Henry's there for a start and Southee's going to play, there's 2. Who's the third seamer? And really, if you look at the history of Hagley Oval at Christchurch, spinners don't go particularly well. I would be a bit uncomfortable if they pick Ravindra and Phillips and then throw in Mitchell Santner. I think that would be a bit weird in the circumstances of when we look at that. So I think Sears will come into it. He's a quick bowler. Duffy will come into it. He's a seam bowler, more like Southee. And I don't know who they're going to look at else.
The Australian side of things, Smithy, you've plotted this team across the 5 tests at home and now the first one here. There are clearly issues in the batting order, but they are finding a way. Just one player to cover. They're taking it in turns.
Yeah, apart from the West Indies, though, Gerard, they're compensating by winning. So they've got no issues compared to what New Zealand have. They've proven players, all of these. The biggest question mark was Cameron Green. Well, he's answered that, hasn't he? You're never going to drop Steve Smith. Marnus is probably a bit of an issue, but you persevere with Marnus because all around him is propping him up at the moment. If you were losing, you'd have issues to talk about. You've got no issues. One of the great things about this Australian side is continuity of selection and fitness. They don't stay fit. They don't break down.
No.
If they get an injury, it's because of a contact injury, muscular-wise, back-wise, etc. They just keep on going. 6 consecutive test matches now without even a doubt about who's going to play in the next one. And to me, there's no doubt about the starting 11 in the next one either, unless someone falls off a golf cart or gets hit on the head by something. I don't know.
It will be the same.
It'll be the same team again. And that is a luxury in its own right. But it's also a testament to the fact they've got confidence in their preparation, they've got confidence in their daily preparation, their long-term preparation, and they've got confidence that the right outcome will be there because their processes are very good along the way.
It's partly a case, I think, that they don't play, all their players don't play the 3 formats. Stark doesn't play the shorter formats game. New Zealand play all the formats. They need to because they don't get paid the contracts that the Australians might get over there. And so they want the money as well, the players. And that's understandable in a way. But at the same time, then we are getting, injury problems.
So decisive victors here in Wellington. Can I say to both of you, it's been a great honour to share the last 4 days with you, to bring our broadcasts together. What a thrill. So I've loved it. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you, Gerard. It's been a pleasure for us too. I can admit that, yeah.
Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney, our New Zealand captains. We're not quite finished here in Wellington. Colo's got some thoughts. Daniel as well. Grant Elliott will offer his assessment as to what's happened and what comes next with the second test to come. But for Gerard Whateley, Ian Smith and Jeremy Coney, with a big thanks to our travelling producer Mitch Scott, we bid you a farewell from Wellington. SEN Test Cricket continues in a moment. SENZ Test Cricket as well for Resine. Quality paint and colours, perfect for your summer projects.
For Resine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket. The Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
Hi, Paul here from Waterforce, keeping your lawns, gardens, parks, subdivisions, sports fields and golf courses looking green and lush is what we do best. We're also experts at improving water quality so it's safe to drink and use. We help a wide variety of residential and commercial clients around New Zealand to use their water as efficiently and effectively as possible. Waterforce offers custom design solutions for your individual needs and supplies the best quality products and equipment for the job. Download our home irrigation planning guide to get started at waterforce.co.nz.
Sports fans rejoice. The voice of sport in New Zealand has his own show.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant performance.
That's right. You can catch Ian Smith every weekday on SENZ from 9 a.m.
For God's sake, how many hints do you want? That's right.
Cricket, rugby, even rugby league. You better believe he's on the WARS train.
Tune in, all right. We'll be tuning in. Look, Kevin.
Mornings with Ian Smith. 9 till 12, weekday mornings on SENZ.
I've always tried to make good choices for my family's future and their happiness. Having an enjoyable and safe building experience is about choosing the right builder. So put your family in safe hands and choose GJ's with their proven track record. In over 25 years of business and with close to 23,000 builds, GJ's has completed every home we've ever started, a fact we're very proud of. Make a wise choice and choose New Zealand's most trusted home builder. GJ's, here today and tomorrow.
That gloomy second bedroom. All it needs is brightening up. So how do you get started? Do you need to seal the walls before you paint? Are you putting off your painting project because you're not sure how to do it? Ask the team at your local Resine colour shop for all the help you need on the best paints, prep and painting techniques for your project so you can get your DIY to-do list done. It's time to get decorating this summer with Resine.
Looking for a big tractor to get the job done? Then you can't go past Kubota's M72. Available from 130 to 170 horsepower, there's a M72 that's right for you. And every new machine includes a big 5-year warranty, making the Kubota M72 the tractor of choice. Speak with your local Kubota dealer or visit kubota.co.nz to learn more. Kubota, shaping New Zealand.
Get so much more with the great garage store from Garage Auckland.
Every Aucklander deserves to have a strong, safe, secure Gerard Auckland garage door. From Wellsford to Waiuku, Gerard Auckland service the whole of Auckland, and with a 10-year warranty, they're hard to beat. GerardAuckland.co.nz.
Get so much more with the great garage door from Garage Auckland.
At Open Country, their focus is on long-term partnerships and collaboration that benefits dairy farmers. Here's what dairy farmer Reese had to say.
Yeah, we're treated great by Open Country. Love supplying them. As I said, you're not just a number. Feel like you are a true partner in the company, which is, it's really cool, enjoyable to supply.
Open Country. It's a partnership by choice.
Need to buy or sell equipment and machinery? Ritchie Bros brings you New Zealand's National Iron Planner End of Financial Year Auction, March 21. Buy and sell with confidence in New Zealand's first machinery auction of the year. Bid on everything from tractors, harvesters, dozers, trucks and heaps more. The Ritchie Bros New Zealand National Iron Planner End of Financial Year Auction, March 21. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, inspect on-site, bid online at rbauction.com.au. Get more with Ritchie Bros.
For Resine, quality paint and colours perfect for your summer projects. And GJ Gardner Homes, New Zealand's most trusted home builder. This is SENZ Test Cricket, the Black Caps against Australia. The first test, live from the Basin Reserve.
It's all over at Basin Reserve in Wellington on a glorious Sunday afternoon. The home side all out for 196. Australia win by 172 runs, and because it's only a two-test series, they've also retained the Trans-Tasman Trophy. Nathan Lyon, 6 for 65 to go with his 4 from the first innings. The 24th time in Test cricket that he's claimed a 5-wicket bag. A couple for Josh Hazlewood at the end, 1 for Travis Head yesterday, and 1 for the player of the match, Cameron Green, who bowled a snorter, just to remind us that he's got that club in the bag. Adam Collins with you, Grant Elliott with me as we continue to wrap up the coverage here in Wellington. We're seeing Neil Wagner down on the ground at the moment. Grant taking photos with his family by the looks of things and all the rest of it. So for all the speculation about whether they might put out a bit of an SOS to the left armour ahead of Christchurch, that doesn't seem likely based on the body language.
Yeah, I don't think so, Collard. Been a disappointing test match for New Zealand. There's also Brian Stronach, Director of High Performance, chatting to the new CEO, Scott Weenink, on the pitch. Looks like there's hand gestures there. So contrast the two moments as Neil Wagner's chasing his daughter around, but not with the same aggression that he plays on the field. He's having a lot of fun. I think that they'll look at bringing a few bowlers in, and I think the likes of Nathan Smith might come into question. He's top wicket taker for Plunket Shield, and then Jacob Duffy. So Jacob Duffy's there and thereabouts, and then you've got the pace of Ben Sears. So Ben Sears obviously will bring you some pace, and Jacob Duffy can bring you a bit of swing, but that's a little bit too much like Henry and Southey, I think. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go. Satner will become an option as well with bat and ball, maybe to tie up an end and play the 3 seamers.
Yeah, I suppose the challenge there is if they go with Satner, Hagley Oval, as Daniel McHardy is jumping in with us in a moment as well, has been telling us throughout the course of the coverage, is a place where finger spinners go to die. So notwithstanding Nathan Lyon, who sort of sits on his own when it comes to these kind of categories and how well he bowled today, but whether Sartner gets a game at Hagley Oval on Friday, I suppose, is ahead of us. Really, for New Zealand, as we stay on that theme, as Daniel jumps in now, it is the batting where the growth is, considering they rock and rolled for 196 today and 179 in the first innings in just 43.1 overs in the first dig and inside 65 overs in the second dig. Williamson making a duck and 9. He's the guy coming into this series with that extraordinary run of form. What he would give, Daniel, to turn it back on against the Australians, something he's not been able to do for the better part of a decade.
Yes. There's not much between these two batting lineups, except for a 6'5" guy batting at number 4.
Yeah,
right. Goes okay.
That was the difference. In fact,
Australia should not be immune of criticism either. I actually thought they left the game slightly ajar when they could have put New Zealand completely to bed in that third innings. I'm not sure they would have game planned for Glenn Phillips. I'm sure they'll tell you all the right things when you ask those questions, Adam, but 5 for 45, Glenn Phillips. That's a bright spark. So a lot to work on, but he played well, didn't he? I know he played and missed a lot, but he was able to put that behind him. He left ever so well outside of off-stump, and he showed a template very few were able to match. We saw it, I thought Smith and Kawaja in the opening section were excellent too, soaking up 200-odd balls before New Zealand finally got the breakthrough. But
well, Australia won by 172 runs.
They won by Cam
Green got 174. So technically...
he got 200 in the test.
So technically, if we had got him early, New Zealand would have won this test.
Yes. That's a bow to draw, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
No, but I think that when you look at the opportunity for New Zealand, and this is where psychologically I think they lost the test match, was at 279 for 9, that last wicket partnership between Cam Green and Hazelwood. I think that really did bury them. That buried them, that gave them no psychological advantage, and put Australia clear ahead in this test match. After their first innings total of 383, I think New Zealand were always going to be struggling.
So it typifies the fact that Australia did win the biggest moments of the test. You're right, Daniel, that yesterday Australia left the door ajar with some sloppy batting in their second innings, all out for 164 in 51.1 overs and losing 6 for 51 after lunch. So a target of 369 is theoretically possible, but it is record-breaking in this country for the Black Caps. It seldom happens for a reason in the fourth innings of a test match. So Australia earlier in the test, when it was there to be won and set up that second morning, I think we might have even spoke about it at the time, that New Zealand at least split the first day. They probably won the first day, yet we returned on morning two. The conversation internally was, gee, Green and Hazelwood, they could put on 30 or 40 here and be a real bother. It wasn't, let's knock them over and get batting. It just felt like that might be where that psychological barrier still lies, that at no stage did it feel like they were going to take a wicket inside that first hour on morning two, and that proved to be so decisive.
Well, I think the strategy that Southey used as well, by just spreading the field to Green, he thought that Green was going to come out, as did I. I thought Green was going to come out and play a T20 innings, being 9 down, and just try and smash every ball to the boundary, but he didn't. He was selective. And all of a sudden, they put on 30 runs, and now you're in a position where he's in, and he's feeling good on the surface, when maybe in hindsight they thought maybe we should have attacked Green earlier, brought the field in, been a little bit more aggressive to both Green and Hazelwood. They didn't bowl enough to Hazelwood, and they got away from them. So strategy-wise, I think New Zealand were poor, and that was a terrible day of cricket for New Zealand. Day 2.
Oh, absolutely. What? The highest 10th wicket partnership in tests at this ground, the 7th highest in the history of the game by a touring side. Pushing that score over 350, I think we identify quite early on day one. It's like, if you can find a way over 300, you're feeling good. If you get yourself to 350, you're feeling great. They got 383. They were feeling magnificent. And then when New Zealand 12 without loss, and then 12 for 3, including Tom Latham, late on a defensive stroke. It's not, it was good tight bowling. There wasn't much movement from Stark, so that's probably, might be a little bit harsh batsman error there. The extraordinary run out of Kane Williamson is a huge body blow.
Well, the next 2 wickets were crucial.
Then Will Young, who is a great player of the horizontal bat shots, flicking at one, like tentatively, and getting caught down the leg side, and Rachin Ravindra trying to, play his game early. So it just compounded, didn't it? 29 for 5.
Yeah, wickets in clumps, and 2, your number 3 and number 4 going for calamari. Unfortunately, that really does push you back as a team. To recover from that, when your top 5 looks like a telephone number, it's really tough going from there after. And that's why I say the psychological advantage that Australia had, to be kept in the field after having 279 for 9 and then just put to the sword by Cameron Green. I think that really did put the New Zealand team in a little bit of a dampened spirit, and then to go out, see Kane Williamson get run out, Rachin Ravindra straight to point, was probably, I think, the defining moments of the day.
Yeah, and unfortunately the lack of fight today is probably going to leave a sour taste in a lot of New Zealand fans' mouths, because they're sick and tired of this side's inability to to play its best cricket for long periods of time against Australia. And again, this is a good example. They played some really good cricket, but it was really poor too. Now they've got some massive questions. Will O'Rourke, you would think, after receiving a note he's available to bat, update tomorrow. That just reeks of he's not going to be in Christchurch. Neil Wagner.
He's retired. He's already done it.
He is retired.
We've seen the photo shoot downstairs already. Yeah. It's all popping up on social media.
So I don't know where they go. Ben says played on the 25th of November. Didn't go down to play for Wellington in the Plunket Shield game. He's probably the next cab off the rank if you're talking about genuine pace, because Will O'Rourke is the only one with legitimate pace in that New Zealand attack. Henry is the figurehead now, but if you can find some pace, that he was able to hurry them up. I thought Will O'Rourke was excellent with the ball in this Test match without a little bit of luck.
Fair to say that the pitch will be benign in Christchurch. It won't be naughty. Pitch. It won't be naughty, and they'll bring in Satner. They're going to bring in Satner for O'Rourke. That's my pick.
Right, so we're back there on Friday. Satner would be the spin option if they want to go in that direction. Grant, as we start to wind our way down, it's been absolutely brilliant to work with you two gentlemen as we brought our broadcast together, as Gerard Whateley said as he was signing off. This has been a co-production between SEN in Australia and SENZ in New Zealand, and thus we have plenty of people to thank, to Matt and Fletch back in Melbourne, to Logan, Finn and Zach from our digital team, Brad, Jake and Mitch, our head of cricket here on the ground, and great to meet Brad as well, who runs SENZ Test Cricket. Also both New Zealand Cricket and Cricket Australia for access to their players throughout the course of the Test match. Daniel McHardy, Gerard Whateley, Bharat Sundaresan, Grant Elliott, Jeremy Coney, Ian Smith and myself, Adam Collins. As we sign off from the Basin Reserve, Australia have been victorious here at Wellington again by 172 runs. They have retained the Trans-Tasman Trophy. We can't wait to do it all again on Friday from Christchurch. Good afternoon to you.
Drives through mid-off, struck it lovely. And it'll roll to the boundary for 4. Tim Southey is bowling from the scoreboard end. Khawaja pulls him into the deep, and he'll pick up a boundary as it races through backward square. The line to Khawaja, who plays away from his body, out through backward points. Leant on it, timed it beautifully.
From over the wicket bowling to Smith, who's edging, taken in front of first slip. That's a very good catch by Coney, diving away. And there is the breakthrough they have been so desperately searching for.
Passes umpire, Goff and bowls and head. Pushes at one. He's nicked it. He's caught behind for one. O'Rourke is in the book at the perfect time. Henry bowls to him. Green shuffles forward again and finds the gap at mid-wicket. Lovely shot. Perfect timing. That's a boundary. Delivers to Marsh. Does. Steered through the cordon for more.
Line delivers, and Marsh on the back foot plays him through cover and picks up the boundary. Mitchell bowls to Green, lifts him up over the leg side, gave that a proper clout out to mid-wickets. One bounce over the fence for 4.
Kugelheim bowling fuller this time. A beautiful stroke through straight mid-on, leaning on the ball, not over-hitting. Henry and Bright Sunshine is it. Pull top edge straight up, should be taken as by the keeper. And Matt Henry gets more rewards. He now has 3. Kugelheim, can he back up Henry as he starts from the Adelaide Road end? Sweet looking drive by Green as he beats cover.
Over the wicket to Carey, who smacks him straight to cover. Oh, that's a soft dismissal. Carey, trying to load up on the cover drive, has found the former captain Williamson. That is catching practice.
O'Rourke bowls to him. Green cuts. That's gold for Cam Green. He cuts the boundary and brings up his century. O'Rourke delivers. Green backs away, swings up to deep mid-wickets, and bang, it carries again. Don't worry about the single. Take it in 6s. 150 up from Cam Green.
With a bit of anger as Kugelheim, but hitting it with even more as Green murders it backward of square. All the way.
Just up. Hazelwood drives on the up to mid-off, and that is the end. Finally, New Zealand pick up the final Australian wicket. Matt Henry gets his 5th. Australia all out for 383. Cummins outside edge, removes Mitchell the very next ball. Carey takes the catch, diving away to his rights, and the captain has his instant revenge. Marsh, first ball of the fresh over to Young. It's down the leg side. Carey's pulled it in. He's out. Phillips high back lift, slashing at a ball outside off stump. Top edge down the third for 4. Take them however you can get them at the moment.
Henry to finish the over, and Kawaja driving through the offside, as he did here so often 8 years ago.
Working away the spinner for New Zealand. Kawaja dances down the pitch and he's stumped. Phillips gets his man.
Is he?
Oh,
I think he's got back.
They're going to go upstairs.
I think he's got back.
Okay.
Bell's up. Yep.
Good work, Blundell.
Well done. He brought it a long way back.
In short, it's upishly just to the left of a diving Tom Latham, who's on the bounce, parked it, hits the round of applause over the wicket. Short, and it's pulled high. Deep square leg, just looks to his left and sees the ball sailing a couple of rows in front.